How's it going, Benchwarmers? We are very excited to be back. It is officially week 1. We don't have to say that it's almost here anymore. It is back. Week 0 is back. So if you're a sicko like me, you watched all of whatever that was, whatever we want to call it. When we get to it, we'll talk about the Farmageddon game that took place in Dublin. And we obviously have playoffs to talk about.
What a big news-filled week, Jimmy. College football is back. That must be the only news this week, right?
It's the biggest sports story of the week, right?
Yeah,
and it's definitely not involving some tortured poet, and there was no bad blood. There was no bad blood
on the earth. No.
It's the end of a cruel summer, and karma comes back around.
You could say a love story came together.
Yeah,
it's
a love story.
It's great. It's crazy. Not much news-filled week, obviously. Not much going on.
No, it's a little bit sickening. And
for those that are going to come out me for our thumbnail, I will clickbait the crap out of you. Okay, so suck it. Okay, deal with it.
It also does play into what our top 5 is going to be coming up. It also plays into our title because when Harry met Sally, when Taylor met Travis, it's a beautiful love story. It all works together. It's amazing. 60 million people have taken a deep dive into that relationship from that episode, that podcast appearance. It's at Guinness World Records, Niko. It shattered podcasting records. It broke Guinness records.
People are more aware of an offensive lineman nowadays than ever before. That's all I'll say. People know more. People know more about Jason Kelce and offensive line stuff than ever before because of her. So I will say there's some good things out of this.
No, that's a lot of women that now know the center position. If I was coming up playing football now, I would be a much more popular person because I could say, Travis Kelce's brother, I play that position.
Exactly.
Travis Kelce's brother. Taylor Swift's boyfriend's brother.
I'm still fighting.
Beyonce.
I'm still fighting that battle for us fullbacks.
I was going to say, you guys are almost extinct. Extinct.
Fighting for our lives out here.
Hey, Juice Check's got a pretty.
I know that's all we got going for us is that his wife makes jackets for half the league's wives. So
he's also. Do you realize how old he is? He's going in like year 10, year 11. That dude has been in it for a minute. He's been elite for a long time, and I think it's just about time to get into it. We had our fantasy football draft. I added my team
power rankings.
Yeah, I got a B. I will say I wasn't
power rankings.
I didn't look at the power rankings. I looked and saw that I had a B. I'll just say overall for my draft in general, the 5th pick in a 10-person league is probably the worst position because I don't get any of the double picks in a round because I'm always right in the middle. Like Jonah would get the first and the last. There were people that would get sprinkled in there. It's not the draft position. I'm not saying that it was the draft position. We've just grown up and been around the same football universe that we all had the same flipping idea. Like Pat took a guy 2 picks before that I was literally looking at. I was like, that is oh my God, who picked him? Damn it. Really? Him?
It happens. It happens every single year. And I will say, so power rankings, you're not last. Power rankings, I'm 3rd. Pretty happy with it. Pat's 1. Andrew's number 2. Andrew, I know he's a listener of this. I know he's happy with number 2 pick. We all texted about it. You are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Prime Meridian, right? That's you?
Yeah, the Prime Meridian Monsters.
Yep, that's you. You're 6. That's a good spot. I like that spot. You're not last.
It's also
one of our idiot friends who shows up to the show sometimes and doesn't show up to the show sometimes. Forgot to show up to our draft and is the last pick and has the worst team. He is running Daniel Jones and Geno Smith as his quarterbacks, so he's got that going for him. I will say I don't think you have the worst team, and I will say,
and I'm in a place this year. I'm in a much better place this year with waiver wires and like people. Like I know that the quarterbacks that I drafted, I'm not going to keep those quarterbacks all through the season. We play in a 2-quarterback league, so I'm going to make sure that at least one of those guys, like JJ McCarthy, is probably not going to be my starter for all 17 weeks. If he comes out and balls, who knows?
I think the 5th pick, I think, is the prime spot, honestly, because there's always somebody that jumps out of for no reason for a quarterback in the first 4 picks. You usually get a prime running back or a prime receiver, and I thought you did. And obviously, the 2nd pick was Josh Allen, and that started everything. But I'm very happy. I think you should be very happy with how you came. I almost had Justin Jefferson fall to me at 9. If Jeremy wasn't on fucking auto draft.
I was sitting there for a long time, and I went, and I even have the Google search because when I pulled up the app to send you the link for today's show, the last Google search I had was, why is Justin Jefferson listed as questionable? Because if I could get him, like you said, it almost fell to you. I was sitting there with the opportunity of picking him, and I had decided to go with Jahmyr Gibbs because in my head I was like, we got to be able to start fast. And I'm playing.
Gibbs is a safe option too.
Jefferson,
like you're relying on.
It does bug me though, because last year that screwed me taking running back first pick.
I think it's different though. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, you know what you're going to get. McCaffrey is boom or bust. I think.
Do we know what we're going to get though? Because this will be the first time it's not Ben Johnson.
Yeah, that's also true.
He does have his knuckles, so if
that's the risk you play. I drafted a rookie as my first pick. I got Genty first, so I
did see that. So Genty's going to get the shit ran out of him though. Whether he's like, I don't know if he'll have the touchdowns. He'll have the yards to keep you in a lot of games. I picked up Josh Jacobs not because he's going to blow anybody out of the water with yards, but I'm figuring anytime the Packers get within the 5, they turn around and hand that guy the ball. So there was, I will say, I'm much prouder of my strategy this year and like the true fantasy knowledge. Because last year I went in with my football knowledge. Like I know the guys that are going to contribute the most to win, and those aren't always the guys that play well in fantasy football. Kyler Murray got drafted over a lot of quarterbacks that I think he is not better than in fantasy football drafts because he has the opportunity to.
You want to talk about my second quarterback? I may have done it on purpose because we had this heated conversation a couple weeks back. My second quarterback's Caleb Williams.
I was not going to touch him, so
I know you wouldn't have, and I'll tell you the 3 that it came down to, and I think you'll understand where I came from. Is the 3 that came down to is Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams, and Drake May. I think Caleb Williams has the biggest potential of boom or bust. That means I think Drake May will be a consistent guy that will give you 15 to 20. I think Brock Purdy will give you the 10 to 20 range as well. Caleb Williams could give me 25 to 30, and I wouldn't be that surprised. So that's why I went with that pick, and I don't love it now because I had to go with a backup quarterback in Stafford, which I think Stafford will be fine for me as a backup, and I could start him some leagues. But I did it because, A, the memes of obviously you telling me how bad he sucks and also having him on my team. And B, if he goes nuts, I'll be very happy about it.
I had the thought of memeing myself because when I was sitting there in the 17th round, I almost wanted to just make myself laugh. Anthony Richardson Sr. was available, and I was thinking I could just put out that video of me from last year and be like, it's a totally different guy this year. I'm telling you, it's totally no, it's not. It's not that.
He's not even the starter, so he may not even.
He's not the starter. Daniel Jones was a name that I did pause over because I needed to find a second quarterback. It was Daniel Jones was available, Aaron Rodgers was available, and I was like, I do have the feeling if Steichen struggles in Indianapolis, he will pull that switch for Anthony Richardson because that would also be like the switch for the organization. It's the guy that you drafted. He's still on the rookie contract, and you know Daniel Jones is what Daniel Jones is. I ended up going with Aaron Rodgers because Justin Fields won with them last year. Russell Wilson won with them last year.
Fields is getting drafted a lot higher than I thought, too. I was like, damn.
I was expecting him to be there for more of a steal situation, but it ended up not working out. I talked to a couple because obviously I talked to my 7th grade students, and this year there is like a big league, kind of like how you set up with it's all people that we went to high school and college with. I'm sure that they'll keep that league for a long time. One of the kids, I heard the wildest one that I heard, he was wearing a CU sweatshirt too, so I was able to laugh at him. He knocked his chair over in the first class of the day. I said, "Oh, you look like Shador in the pocket." He drafted Travis Hunter with his 3rd overall pick.
Oh God! Does he?
The guy who's listed as questionable.
Does he? No. Does he have intel that he's playing receiver? That's the gamble. That's not necessarily because if he plays receiver, I think it's a great option. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But if he's playing corner, what's the point?
It wouldn't make
I got Travis Hunter in my family league in like the 10th round. I was like, he's just sitting there. I can't just let him sit there.
I think he's listed as questionable, or he was listed as questionable in our app, and I think that there is like people will want to see. I would see him being like a hot waiver wire if people. He'll be a stashed weapon too, like kind of how I used Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. If there's a couple weeks where he's not good, but maybe you get the one good week out of him before you end up hitting a trade.
I mean, like this, it's so crazy. Like with this league, the receiver and running back depth. Like I fell in love this year with the receiver depth. That's why I went heavy running backs, heavy tight end, heavy quarterback early, because I felt like I could get a Marvin Harrison as as a number 2. I could get a Jerry Jeudy as a number 3 and still be very, very comfortable with it. And like I said, there's some guys that I just know to stay away from, and guys that I just fall in love with every single year that just have done me good. A guy like I said, Puka Nacua is a guy. Obviously, he had a great rookie year. Last year was a little bit more down. I blame it mainly because Stafford wasn't there the whole time. Puka's a guy that won me a championship 2 years ago, fantasy championship in one of the leagues. So I will always love Puka for that reason, and the fact that I was able to grab him as my wide receiver 1, I was ecstatic for, and pair him with Genty, I was very, very comfortable with. So I think the only position that I'm really, really worried about is probably my tight end position. Because Hawkinson is the guy.
There was a run of tight ends in a spot that I wasn't expecting so much, so that I picked up an extra tight end just to make sure that I had enough. I wanted McBride, I wanted Bowers. They ended up going. I think one was the pick before me, and the other was 2 picks before me. So I wasn't able.
McBride and Bowers is obviously the 1A, 1B tight ends of this class. Everyone else is kind of a big drop off.
I mean, I'm glad that I ended up with Kittle, and then I got Ferguson, and I have Hunter Henry as well. So I have options, and I have enough people. Like I'm sure I'm going to get hit up because it's already started. Like the shit talking mind games have already started. Jonah, who won our league last year, is like, oh, don't worry, I'll send the bribe money because he ended up getting the first pick, even though he won the league last year based on our random generator. I'm not going to say anything about that.
I want it as fair as possible. That was the first time I did it. Just to be fair, to make sure it worked, I put in team 1, team 2, team 10 teams with our names in there, and it just randomly obviously went to it. And then I did it again. That was with the actual name. So I test ran it to make sure it worked. So a free shout out, 100-yard dash on the website that they made for this. I've had 3 leagues now that have used that, by the way. So I'm not the only one that uses that.
I'm just giving you shit because that was the easy, low hanging fruit. Maybe if you win it 2 years in a row, you get deselected from the draft order and you just automatically go in last because you've proven you can win. You can win, but I guess everybody gets lucky every year. There's going to be the star. So based on, let's go with this question first. Do you look at your roster and see a gem that nobody else? Okay, so give me who your gem is.
Billy Crockett, baby. Bill Crockett.
Who's he? I'm not familiar.
I don't remember his full name, but Billy Crockett. If you don't know, you'll know his name. If you don't know, you'll learn.
Is he Washington?
Jeremy Krosky Merritt.
Yeah, I do know who you're talking about.
The guy who's now the starting running back in Washington. Eckler is obviously started, but he's the passing down back. Yeah. Bill Krosky Merritt, the man from 10,000 seas who goes fishing on the river every single day and will be the running back for the Washington Commanders. Is my number 3 running back. I saw that man. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then I did some research.
Yeah.
I did some research and I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to get all the touches. I was like, look, I know Eckler's good. And Eckler is a passing down running back. We all know that, okay?
He's also there for his leadership. That's the guy that will keep, especially a young locker room like that. He'll keep a young locker room in line. So I'm not taking any offense to it. He's there because he's an athletic freak. I don't know if you saw the video. He's the only one in the running back room to be able to make it over the pads. But Krosky, the guy that you got is going to be the starting running back.
Corey Krosky Merritt. I was like, because I got 2 really good running backs. I love my running backs. Obviously, Genty, and I love James Cook. I think with Buffalo, he's a guy that is going to consistently put up numbers for me.
Cook was in my sights if you didn't snag him.
So Cook and Genty, I love. And those are going to be my workhorses every week. Krosky Merritt, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt could very well sneak into my flex every single week because when they traded Brian Robinson Jr., I was like, okay, why are they doing this? One, obviously, they didn't think they were going to be able to pay him this offseason, and they were able to get some draft picks back for him. So I think that helped them. And then I think they think this kid is going to be a stud. I seriously think that. It was like, you don't make that trade.
The Monday night preseason game, he was the one with the super, he broke 5 or 6 tackles on his opening run against Cincinnati. And I know Cincinnati.
I know it was their backups, but still, it's like.
It wasn't their backups. I think it was their backup linebacking core, but they still had a lot of guys that were fighting for roster spots. And it was 4 or 5 guys that had straight up, head on shots at him. and he broke all of the tackles. And
I was like, like I said, I haven't watched a lick of preseason football. I'm sorry, I haven't. I'm in playoffs currently.
Where'd you hear about him from? Because I heard about him.
I didn't. I literally looked up his name while we were mid draft. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
That makes me feel even worse because I looked at him and I was like, nobody else knows who this guy is.
Well,
I heard about him on one of the podcasts that I listen to on a regular basis, and it's a Commanders fan, and he's like, if you don't know him, he's going to have a huge season. He's going to be a big, huge part of the success of if this team is successful. And he has James Daniels in the backfield and Eckler.
I was like looking at him, I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, okay, the options I had there, I believe it was a mixture of Tony Pollard, Krosky Merritt, J.K.
Javonte Williams was still there.
J.K.
Javonte Williams was there for
J.K. Dobbins and Javonte Williams with the crop there. And I was like, let me just take a peek at this guy. Let me see what the fuss is about.
You chose right. I believe.
And then I really fell in love.
That you have chosen right. That is an awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for too. Because nobody outside of I think hardcore Barstool fans and hardcore Washington fans would have even known who that is.
And I literally had never heard of the guy and looked at him. And I was like, you know what? Let's look into him. And I fell in love right away. And like, I'm a person that I love my Broncos. Okay, I love Dobbins, love Ingram, love Sutton, love all of them. I prefer not to select my own.
Somebody picked Bo Nix in round 10, and I was like, what are you doing?
I just prefer. I say your own because we play in obviously leagues that are never based for the most part. And obviously Broncos players get selected higher. I'm just a guy that I'm just like, you know what? If I get one player, cool. I'm not going to overdraft these guys. I'm not I'd rather not stress about Cortland Sutton catching a football in the Sunday Night Football, and I'd rather just win the team win. I'd much rather worry about that. So that's like I said, I don't think I may have one Bronco in between my 6 teams, maybe 2 at the most. And they were like guys that are depth pieces. And so I'm just a guy that stands on that belief that like I'd rather watch other games and look at how my fantasy team doing. And when Broncos are on, I'm watching, making sure my team wins, and not be like, please give him the ball, please give him the ball, stop it, we need to win. No, give him the ball, be smart. Let's win a football game here.
I liken it to when you bet on a player prop on your team too. Because I think back to the Thursday night football game, Bengals versus Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence versus Joe Burrow for the first time since the national championship game. And I think it was like 65 yards rushing and 250 yards passing. And he got 85 yards rushing and a touchdown and 230 yards passing. I was like, they won. They look great in prime time. Burrow played out of his mind. I should be happy, but I just lost $45.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're hedging your happiness. You're being smart.
Yeah, no, I think
that's why I have Mahomes on my team. It's not why, because I needed a quarterback and I didn't want to deal with fucking Dak Prescott as my QB1. But like I just have to hedge happiness. And be
I feel way better about Patrick Mahomes as my QB1 than JJ McCarthy. I'm looking here. I think it's strange. I guess I'll ask you too because you play in more leagues than I do. Is Rodgers only rostered in 8% of the leagues in ESPN fantasy? Are you seeing that as a trend in most of your leagues?
He's like, I mean, like you gotta think about this. Logistically, there's 10 teams in each league. Most leagues are 10-team leagues each league, and majority of leagues are one quarterback leagues. He's not a top 10 fantasy quarterback. That's plain and simple. He's a suitable backup that people draft him for backup status because they know he's not. But you can name easily 10 quarterbacks that I'd prefer in fantasy over him. Maybe not game wise in terms of winning a football game.
Yeah.
But in terms of fantasy football production, he just does not. He's not a top 10 guy. And like we can go down a list of guys, obviously, right?
I think Cooper Kupp can be on that list too because I mentioned that I drafted Cooper Kupp and I got a lot of weird looks today in class, and I'm like, I get it because last year was not good and he was hurt for a majority of last year. And you can say what you want about Sam Darnold, but he's now the number 1 target in Seattle because DK's not there anymore.
Jackson Smith and Jigba too are going to be splitting. And
JSN, but that's even better for him because when is Cooper Kupp most dangerous? When he has somebody else on the other side that can take a little bit of pressure off of him. And I do think that Seattle, I think that last year, is Darnold going to be able to be Geno Smith?
I don't know. I think Darnold plays as good as last year. I think the Seahawks are better.
Beginning of last year. Remember, he's the reason that they lost the season finale, and he did not play well in their playoff performance.
Seeing ghosts.
But it was his first time. We have to remember as long as the guy's been in the league. That was his first time being in a successful starting
organization.
Position. Yeah, and the Vikings are
a non-toilet.
The Vikings are football rehab. I've noticed that today, and I saw a video. They're of their 65-year history, they're almost perfect 500 of seasons that they've made the playoffs and seasons that they haven't. They've been to 10 conference championship games. They've never made it to a Super Bowl, except for back in the 60s and 70s when they were playing outside.
They're always mid. They're always not bad, but they're not great. It's middle of the pack.
If you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, you always have playoff football to worry about. You never have to go 23 years like I did without a playoff win.
Always playoff football, but you can always expect to not make it to the championship game.
Oh yeah, if you're in the championship game or the semis, you can expect heartbreak. You can expect some bad things to happen, and that's basketball, that's football, that's hockey. Minnesota Wild.
Baseball, the Twins. Baseball. I mean, all four.
Do we watch baseball? I guess we should. We shouldn't diss baseball that much because baseball will be coming back up. I didn't expect to do 20 minutes on fantasy football, so I'll finish with. I got Keon Coleman in a much later round than I anticipated. Like you were saying, the wide receiver depth was there. I think that's somebody right now. He's listed as my bench guy, and it might be a matchup thing. I might wait until Jackson Dart does take over as the quarterback, because I don't know how much Keon Coleman will be able to produce with Russell Wilson at quarterback.
No, Keon Coleman's a Bills guy, so he's gonna have.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the Bills.
So he'll have.
I just kind of want to see what that first team offense looks like and where is it what it has been, or is Keon Coleman going to be taking that next step? I think that with him on my bench right now, I didn't have any explosiveness like he brings from my bench last season.
Buffalo kind of just spreads the wealth around. That's what Josh Allen does really well. Is they feed each receiver pretty well. Obviously, you remember Khalil Shakir. Go back in the day, you think about Gabe Davis, even with
and at worst, I have 6 games against really bad teams in the division that I can rely on him for.
Exactly, where you can sub him in. Like I said, when you talk about this receiver depth, Ayuk is going to be sitting in my IR. When he comes back, he's going to be the number one. I mean, obviously, Pearsall and Juwan Jennings going to be very, very good for San Francisco. But getting Ayuk in whatever round I got, 12th round, 13th round, I was ecstatic for. I was like, heck yeah, I'll pick him and stash him on my IR. And if he comes useful at the end of the season, I'll use him. He's way better than taking a backup quarterback. I could use him very easily in the playoffs. So I was ecstatic for that.
Yeah, I think that Xavier Worthy, not that I want the team to have success, but I think Xavier Worthy in his second year, which we've seen here locally, Troy Franklin is coming into his own in his second year. He's the reason why Devon Vele is no longer in Denver. Second year is normally when you see receivers really bounce and come into their own. So I like that I picked him up, even though I don't like the Chiefs at all. I like nothing about the Chiefs, even what we're going to talk about later. I listened to the podcast because of Jason, not because of the guy that we're going to be talking about. Let's talk about your playoff experience, because I kind of want to ask you what your heart rate meter was on the playoff game, but we'll save that. You advanced. You survived. You advanced. That's the main thing.
Down by 5 goals in the third quarter, 10-5. Thanks for making it interesting, boys. I'm not going to go into too much detail because there are some other things in the background that made my life a little bit difficult leading up to the game that I couldn't even really stress about the game before the game. As all I'll say is we had a few problems that I had to fix and fires I had to put out before the game started, and one fire I wasn't able to fix, and the other one I'm still ongoing fixing. So I'm not going to go too far into detail about that, but when we were down 10-5, I was like, all right, well, let's figure out what I'm going to do for my birthday one day. that's what it was, because we play on my birthday now, and I was like, all right, what can we do? What does the vacation spots look like? Can I make a trip in a week? Can I go somewhere for 3 days? And because it'd be back-to-back years, I would have had my birthday off, but instead my team won, and and trust me, I am much happier that way. Oh, yeah. Much happier that way. But yeah, it was looking gloom, and then I realized, okay, we have probably the closest group in the playoffs right now. It's like we after that game, we were in the outdoor by the campfire outside the hotel there until 3 a.m. just drinking and having a good time and playing cards and the boys having a great time, and no other team does that. It's like other teams Chaos are probably the only other team that does that, and they're obviously gone. So, we've had, I'm not going to name names, but we've had other players go out with us like from other teams, because they see the locker room we have and they want to be a part of the locker room we have, and the locker room we have is so tight knit that people are wanting to be a part of it. And like I said, when you have a team that's as close as we are, it adds into to the X factor of being able to come back from a game, right? Yep. When you're knocked down, being like, all right, I know this guy, I can depend on this guy, depend on this guy, right? I can depend on TD to get us a big face-off and a goal to get us back to lead. I can depend on Chase Erlin to make a big save at the end of the game. I can depend on Romar Dennis, the two-bomb master, to get a two-bomb
there's such a difference.
The like, there's so many guys
from a season ago, like, nobody's yelling at anybody else when a mistake gets made. It's always picking each other up. And obviously it's a tough situation. Like last season, we have to remember the losing streak. When you go that many games without actually tasting victory, it does. It weighs on you mentally. And these are young guys, and these are new professional athletes, some of them. So you have to go through
that this year. We lost 5 in a row. Let's not forget about that. We lost 5 in a row.
But even still, I'm sure that 5-game losing streak felt 10 times different than the one that you had the season before, because it wasn't just a group of guys bitching at each other. Like you let that guy past you left your guy open in the crease, goalie can't make a save. Okay, maybe our defense hasn't been great, but that's on all of us. Our face-off is one of our strengths. Let's focus on our face-offs. Let's just stay in these games.
We are playing to our strengths, and like I said, we have the best rookie class. I don't think it's even a question. We have the best rookie class this year. You look at, and I know Cole Castner doesn't really count as a rookie because he got drafted last year, but he didn't play on our team last year. First rookies this year, Cole Castner, 6'7", absolute stud, been one of the best young defenders this year. You look at Andrew McAdory, midfielder of the year candidate, a guy that puts up another 3 goals this week, a guy that consistently assists and just adds on more and more to juvenize this offense. There's not a single short stick defender or long pull for that matter that can stop him downhill. It's plain and simple. And then you add on the fact that the second-round pick, who arguably is the rookie of the year in Chris Kavanaugh, who has just takes over games with his goal scoring, takes over his games with his assist making. He has done everything that you could have wanted from a number 1 overall pick, let alone a second-round pick. And then you add in a guy like Carter Rice, who we went like back in week 2, we lost our number 1 short stick D mini to a torn ACL on Chris Merle. He fit into that role very, very quickly next to Brian Tevlin and has taken on matchup after matchup at the midfield position. It's probably the toughest position to do is a short stick D mini, a guy who you're going to get dodged. They're going to try to switch onto you because they feel like they can get around you, and he's done an excellent job. This rookie class has been by far and away the best in the league. It's not even been close. And we had young development. We had veterans that nobody wanted. Dylan Malloy is a guy who wasn't rostered the last 3 years. Like rostered consistently. He's a guy that was on practice squad basically for NFL terms, and a guy that was just there and not playing. He comes to the year, he leads the league in scoring, right? Guy like Chris Fake, the guy who was cut from the Waterdogs, wasn't drafted, comes to our team, is the leading defender in our team, one of the best. We wouldn't be able to be where we're at without him. Mm-hmm. Like Chase Erlin, a guy that was tossed around at Hopkins, a backup goalie last year behind Jack Kelly, a guy that no one expected to be the guy, right? To be the guy. Well, the Redwoods need a goalie. He's made save after save after save to win games, and he comes up big with a 60% save percentage and 17 saves to lead us in the game. We have so many unsung heroes. It's because they believe in each other and the guys are fighting for each other. Like I said, in the locker room, and it's such a fun thing to say. It's kind of sad to say it this way, but I think it fits so perfectly. It's like we're fighting for another week together. It's like, do you not want to see each other next weekend? Do you not want to be talking about X's and O's for another week? Do you want to be talking about where should we go vacation? Or do you want to be together next weekend playing for each other and drinking beers in the locker room or after the game and enjoying each other? So we're trying to keep this going as long as we can, and the boys have done an incredible job.
The teams that can understand just fighting for another week of the grind, because it is a grind, and it was a long season, but you'll get a week off if you can pull it off this weekend, and you're back in. I can't remember how many minutes are in a quarter. You're a game away from a championship if you make it one more week through the grind. and get your body right.
And this is the toughest test, obviously. Like obviously the championship game, if we get to that point, will be very tough. But the Outlaws are the team everybody's picking to win. Everybody's picking that they're going to win it all. They have the 4 Tour-a-ton winners. Trust me, I've heard that 100 million times. They have Pat. They have Brennan. They have Jared Bernhardt, the NFL player. They have all these guys on their team.
Their color scheme fits really well with I mean the brand.
I live in Denver. Like,
yeah, you live in Denver. I left my Outlaws hat in the truck specifically today, so I didn't accidentally put it on before the show.
I've heard it all. Trust me, I've heard it all. But there's nothing I'd love more than to stick a fork in the new Outlaws, because I love the old Outlaws. This new Outlaws, I have no love for this team. I have love for the old Outlaws with Eric Law and Jack Kelly and Eddie Glazer and all them. I don't have love for this new Outlaws team. They're dead to me, and they will be dead this weekend.
The games both ended 14-12, so the Waterdogs take down Maryland in game 1. With that matchup in the Eastern Conference, now the Waterdogs will be taking on New York. Do you see, well, for both matchups, really, but specifically in the Eastern Conference, is it going to be the team that's rested or the team that has the win now, got the playoff victory, and is going to be able to use that to propel themselves forward?
I mean, there's a lot of like fun things to talk about this game because obviously New York last year had the first round bye. They had the number 1 overall seed, and they ended up They ended up losing their semifinal in overtime to the Whipsnakes, and then all that break off. And then you look at what the Waterdogs looking at. They come off a season where they didn't even make the playoffs. These two teams probably have they arguably have the best attack lines in the entire league. It's 1A, 1B. All the last 4 teams all have the best. I'll be honest with you. I think you could easily say that the last 4 teams have the best attack lines in general. But you look at what the Atlas have. Connor Schellenberg will more than likely be the MVP. He's a guy that led the league in points, led the league in assists, top 3 in goals. A guy that does everything for them. You look at Jeff T, who was the MVP last year, who has had a quiet year. You look at Xander Dixon, a guy they call Slim Reaper for a reason because he just finishes everything on the net. And then on the flip side, the Waterdogs, I don't think there's ever been a game where the entire scoring output came from 3 players.
Michael Sowers scores like nobody's business.
14 goals scored between Michael Sowers, CJ Kurse, and Kieran McCardle.
They found more people. Sowers is I don't even know who the equivalent would be in the NHL, but that's the guy, like, that's the crease crasher. If I have one shot, one offensive possession, and the aliens have the laser beam pointed at Earth, I want Michael Sowers near the crease.
He's a captain behind the net that just like leads everything, puts people in the right place, and everything starts with him. And then McCardle, a guy that's obviously like been at such a steady worth in pro lacrosse for so many years, and the CJ Kurse, who had arguably the greatest single college lacrosse season last year, who was the number 1 pick. Like, they have a 3-headed monster that's like, when you have the greatest college coach of all time and Bill Tierney, having that at his disposal, it's kind of nuts. That's all I'm going to say. And like I said, the Waterdogs have flew under the radar kind of like us. It's like the Waterdogs and Redwoods, both teams have had, obviously didn't make playoffs last year. 2 teams that had up and downs all season long. Where we kind of had to fight and claw to stay in the playoffs and fight and claw to win in the playoffs as well, as opposed to the teams that were playing on the other side. Atlas, number 1 team basically the whole season in the Eastern Conference. Denver had the number 1 seed locked up a week before they got to Denver in general. Like these are 2 teams that have been on the steady front of the best teams in the league, but when they have that time off, how is it going to affect you? How's it going to affect you when 2 teams that have been playing for their lives? It's the rest versus rust.
They had practice, right?
They had practice.
Were they able to scrimmage each other? Is that
they
a
weren't.
possibility?
That's not something they did. So they have not played a live game. Denver hasn't played a live game since you were in attendance August 1st.
Yeah, and I didn't even watch that game. That was the game that I wasn't even there for.
So like they have like even we have played 4 do or die games. 3 do or die games. Excuse me, 3 do or die games.
That Denver game was the start of the win.
Denver game we had to win because Memphis Snakes, because we had to lock in our spot because the Archers were still creeping the way out. We go to Boston. We had to win that game. obviously go to Minnesota, had to win that game for us. Now we're in our fourth straight do or die game. They haven't even played one since then. I think it's a huge advance for us.
I don't think this, and you can say this Outlaws team hasn't played a do or die game at all this season because they started hot, and that's a strategy. That is a strategy.
I wouldn't say they went 6 in a row where they started 0-2, and then they inserted Jared Bernhardt in the lineup, and everything changed. But they've been ever since the week 3 mark. They have been one of the best, if not the best team in the league.
It'll be. I mean, that's always the question, and I think that's going to continue to be the question until we have more of a sample size. But I like the way that the playoffs are formatted this year. The 1 seeds both getting the bye in each conference, and now you get to see it's rust. It's teams that are on hot streaks. Can you continue to go? Not going to make you make predictions because you can't. But just with this season at the semifinal point now, because we're not going to talk about them next week. What are your overall takeaways from what is this, the 7th? Is it double digits yet? Are we close to double digits on how many years the PLL has been in existence? I know it was a couple of years before our show.
It was 20
I think it was 2018, wasn't it?
2018 maybe. I know it was 2019. It was a year before COVID.
So it's been about 6 years. And 6 years into the league, what are the takeaways? What works? What do you see change?
We're just like it's they strapped a rocket ship to this league, and it's continuing to grow every single week. Like Chris and Ryder were on Rich Eisen's show on Monday, right? Like getting eyes on the product. They have guys on ESPN. Trevor Baptiste was on ESPN, right? Like the Outlaws players were at the Philadelphia market across the street playing indoor lax. You have street lacrosse events where Kevin Durant, Jason Kelsey are showing up to these events, right? It's like as much as people want to give this league shit for whatever various reasons, like it's growing more and more. It's only getting better. It's like if you don't think for a second that this league is learning from mistakes of the previous league and learning from mistakes that they made from year to year, they are learning every single year and continuing to just strive to be, like I said, it's going to take a lot. It's going to be a long time till we become that 5th league. Right, it's very, very tough. Right, it's very, very tough if you want to crack the top 4, let alone be top 5, top 6. And this league is growing so much every single day, and the product, people are enjoying it so much more. Like I said, we filled out Minnesota Stadium very, very easily. I don't think anyone in their right mind would call Minnesota a hotbed for lacrosse. And we filled out
more. I bet there was a good amount of Canadian people that maybe made
the drive over. But
that's definitely not a place that in the U.S. that's not a lacrosse place.
And that was filled to the brink. Filled to the brink. San Diego filled to the brink. Utah filled to the brink. Denver.
San Diego definitely is not lacrosse territory.
Like Utah, Denver, like all these cities that I mean, obviously, like outside of the hotbeds, Philly and Maryland might have been the worst 2 viewed or worst 2 attended. Philly, Maryland, New York might have been the worst 3 attended events the whole year. Mm-hmm. And I don't know the numbers, so I can't tell you off the top of my head. But like, obviously, they are stuck with lacrosse. They have lacrosse there. New York is known for its lacrosse. Philly is too. So is Maryland. They know crab cakes and lacrosse over there in Maryland. Like to have that growth in cities that where lacrosse isn't as accessible and isn't as big in terms of these other cities, it's so huge for the sport, and it's growing even more. It's been awesome. And like I said, I'm so thankful to be a part of it and be in the position I am, because like I said, this season has been so much fun. Last year, like, I'm not going to put a damper on last year, but last year sucked. It was not fun losing every week. It was not.
But you have to know how that feels to be able to appreciate the experience of what it is to have this season.
I love the old coaching staff. The old coaching staff was awesome. Being around Nat, being around John Grant Jr., who I looked up to as well as a young lacrosse player. But having Anthony Kelly, having CC back, having Bachlet, who obviously coached for his brother at Creek, it's been such a breath of life in this team, and like I said, Nat did a great job building this program, building this team up from the ground up. But Anthony Kelly is taking off with this team and taking it to a new level. And so is Joe Spillane and company. So I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And like I said, obviously we want to win a championship this year, but like I just said, we have the best rookie class in the entire league, and this team is just only getting younger and getting stronger, and going to be a force to be reckoned with for a lot of years.
I think I ask you this every season, so I'll make sure that I continue this tradition. How long until it's not the tour model, and how long until we have? I know we have host cities now, but is it going to continue?
I honestly have no idea the question. I have no idea. There's been rumors of owners, and I think that has to happen first. Ownership, but I could not. Honestly, I wish I could give you a timetable, but I literally cannot. So I physically do not know. Obviously, the tour model works because when you come to a weekend, you can see every team play. So that's
the tour model is actually best for the athlete too because it makes.
I would say no. I would argue that point. And like
owners never look out for the best in the athletes. That's what I'm saying right
now. I will say like when you go away from the touring model, it'll be less travel for some of the guys because you can house players. You can house players in San Diego. You can house players in Denver, Utah.
Obviously, the travel and the not having a set place to live is not great. But right now, the league is doing everything so that the sport can grow and that the players can have the most benefit. When you have an ownership model, I was having because people want to say that the we'll get into the end of the preseason, but like people are saying that the Browns ownership is going after Shador. Like no. The ownership just goes after players in general. Ownership makes 95% of the pie. All that money that we talk about going to these athletes is only about 5% of anything that they have. So when you get into the ownership, when you get into the collective bargaining, that's going to bring other challenges. But right now, I think that it's cool to sit where it is. I think you're chasing the sport that we're talking about next in college football because college football kind of announced itself.
College football is a different level.
It might honestly be. I mean, maybe it's college basketball that you're.
I would say college. I would say college.
Baseball.
College basketball is even above. I would say college baseball is even.
Yeah, it's definitely the baseball because that's
the MLS and college baseball and UFC levels and still we got ways to go for that. So.
Well, I mean, you're on the same network, so that's a good thing. You're on the same network as college baseball, and college baseball has, I think, 2 weekends out of the year, 3 weekends out of the year in June. So you have a set base. But college football now has gone international. Biggest thing, I know you don't watch these games because it's week 0. I did. I watched a majority of this game while I was playing I love this thing, by the way, the PlayStation Portal. If you're a guy that likes to not have to be in a set place to play their video games and you can kind of hang out with the room, it's amazing. But I was watching the game as I was playing one of my dynasties in college football 26. And
basically a PSP on steroids, it looks like.
And I can set this thing up as long as my PlayStation 5 is in rest mode. I can fire that thing up from wherever as long as I'm connected to Wi-Fi, and I can connect to my PlayStation 5. So
that's dangerous.
It moved me away from buying the physical games because obviously I can't change what disc is in the console, but now I download the digital games and I'm like, oh, I feel like playing.
That's dangerous. I didn't even know what that was because I missed my PSP. You know I love the PSP back then.
Yes.
I used to play that thing. Every plane ride to Vegas, every plane ride to Miami.
For you, if you buy the Wi-Fi on a flight, this thing might be a godsend. Well, I mean, it is because you can't have like the mini. You can't have the mini screen to see like the high def stuff on that the PlayStation 5 gives you. But this is that's what I was playing as I was watching this game in Ireland. I think the biggest takeaway. There was 8 minutes at the start of the game because it was raining so badly. There was not a single pass completion. Both teams.
That's great.
A full 8 minutes.
Wonderful.
And then at halftime, because it was raining so hard, and I don't know what they use in their line paint, but they obviously don't use the same line paint that we do use here in the U.S. You can't see the lines on the field.
Oh, good.
There's a first down that nobody knows whether it was got or not because there is no lines. There are no yard lines.
Backyard football over again, where you're making lines with the tree over there and the piece of dog over there on the ground.
About here, I'll give you the first down. How about that?
It's like, well, the first down will be where that raccoon left his pile of trash over there on the side. That's what the first down is. That's what
it's hard to do in these European countries because they don't understand. You have to take the ground. You can't just be given the ground. You have to take that ground.
Soccer, they just need the square.
Yeah,
and everything else is like
even the square, though. I will say even the square, and they had to pick. There's no other day that they could have played this on because now these teams are both coming back to the U.S. to start the rest of their schedule, and I don't know why these two schools agreed to have a Big 12 opener game, top 25 matchup in Ireland. It's a 7-day trip. It's not even like it's a summer trip where you get 3 weeks to go out, acclimate to the time, you come back, you have a couple of weeks till school starts. These guys are back. They're, quote, in class, and they're getting ready for week 1, their second game of the season, after being over the prime meridian.
As someone that flies everywhere every single week, it takes a minute to recuperate. I didn't know what jet lag felt until I traveled every single weekend, and I took literally 5-hour naps every single weekend when I get home. Like
it's crazy because the U.S. is big enough that you can't have jet lag.
Yeah,
but I remember we had a walkthrough practice the day that we landed. So we landed at like 2 a.m. when we went to China, and we had a practice that day at like 2 p.m. So it was a full 12 hours. Nobody tells you that China only has one time zone, so we're on the very eastern part. The sun came up at 3 a.m., so you can't sleep, and your body clock's all out of whack. But by 2 p.m., everybody, like I saw people in their stance as we're doing this walkthrough, and their eyelids are closed until they hear hut, and then they're moving. I'm like, this is different. I've been tired before, but I can't physically stay awake. If I'm a betting man, bet against Iowa State and Kansas State, at least with the spread, if you don't believe that they're going to lose.
It's so crazy. Like, obviously, it's great for the sport. NFL does it. They play a couple European games. I believe they're going to play a Brazil game too, maybe again. Yep. Or they did last year at least. Like they're. It's
Mexico
good to have.
City's had quite a few. Mexico City loves Raiders games.
It's great for the sport. It's great for the growth, especially in football, where I mean, like let's not sugarcoat it. Although I know you played in international competition. International competition in terms of like NBA level to like European basketball level to Australian basketball level.
You're back in the 1960s.
Exactly. Like the NFL, like the CFL is the closest one. And frankly, CFL players struggle to make NFL rosters. And that's the second best league. And then there's a massive drop off.
Yeah.
Massive drop off.
After you leave high school, there's a few colleges that do play American football in Canada, but it's like the high school age is when the separation exists. The really good players in Canada come to the U.S. and play here. It's all the international teams. We played Austria, we played Canada, we played Japan. All of the best players there ended up going to USC or some other big school or a group of 5 school in the U.S. They don't go to college and play football at university in Europe.
They play a different football over there if they're trying to play a sport in college. So I mean, like, look, it helps so much growing because obviously with the and this is why it's so big even more for the Olympics to implement flag football and 7-on-7 football. It's like other countries obviously see what they're doing, right? See what we're doing. Come to London, go to Ireland, go to Mexico City, go to Brazil. Germany, right? Go to all these places, and they're like, you know what? Maybe there's not enough people for full 11-on-11 football every single night. But I bet you I can find 7-on-7 and find guys that don't want to die and get their head taken off every single play and just be able to pull a flag. I bet you that's a lot easier to find.
The Europeans aren't built as the only Europeans that are built sturdy enough to play American football play rugby.
Exactly. So I think it's going to help the sport even more. I just don't think you have to, like I said.
I think both of these teams
are going to learn real hard that they shouldn't have done the schedule the way they did.
Yeah, and it's not even like you go out there and have a ton of success. Your quarterback ends half of the day. Like he went 50% on the day. 10 minutes without a completed pass. You're able to get the win if you're Iowa State. Matt Campbell proves that he's not up there with the Kirby Smarts and the other guys that we talk about at the top level of coaching in this sport. But Matt Campbell knows how to be a very consistent program at a place that has barely any resources. Iowa State has almost nothing.
Like I think I'm pretty sure they have less than Iowa. They don't even have the best resources in their own state. Okay, and Iowa does not have great resources either. So like Iowa State has done a great job with very little. Is all I'll say.
I just can't believe that they would have agreed to that, and it's going to affect them. And I think they said both coaches predicted it's going to be about a month until they're ready and what they were expecting at the beginning of the season.
So I hope these two teams scheduled Navy or Air Force.
Let's see.
Like
Kansas.
That have other
let's go with the loser because I think Kansas State definitely has to feel worse about their decision. Kansas State gets North Dakota and then Army and then Arizona.
I think those are winnable games.
Those are not bad. They're not as bad as they could be. Iowa State gets South Dakota this week, which I know that it's an FCS team. No, South Dakota's good. South Dakota is
they're good, but that's like I would say
it's the best
FCS school.
It's the best chance for South Dakota to beat Iowa State right now, and they know it. They know it for sure. And then they get Iowa next week. Iowa State, Iowa.
I would say Iowa State maybe has it worse. Is all I'll say. Arizona's not.
It's definitely better for them to have won this game because even if they lose that Iowa game, it's out of conference. So they would still have the tiebreaker over Kansas State. They would still be in the driver's seat. Yeah, Big 12. Big 12 yeah. The last story with this game, did you see that Avery Johnson's dad got into a fight with his brother?
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, with his brother? I thought it was with someone from
Avery Johnson's brother. Avery Johnson's brother and his dad fought on the sidelines.
Oh, their own family.
It was in family, in-house.
Oh, wonderful. That's nice. I was going to say, I think the only time, I guess Ireland is the place they do this the most, is like you probably don't want to fight anybody when you go to Ireland and look at somebody the wrong way. If it's your own family, I guess it's fair game, but I that's insane to me.
When I heard about that, it was
Thanksgiving's going to be real awkward.
Yeah. Hopefully they've buried the hatchet, and Avery Johnson should be talked about more for his athleticism on the field than what his dad and his brother were showing off the field. Outside of that, obviously the Hawaii upset was one that a lot of people hung on to because it was Andrew Luck's first week as GM of Stanford, and they went out to Hawaii and lost on a last-second field goal.
Stanford may be the worst program in Power 5 right now. Like I don't even like that's
my favorite is the Coach 30. He does the mock film sessions, and I've been in college film rooms where the coach just figures out really creative ways. He's like, I'm at Stanford. I'm pissed off. I have to play football. I'm here for the education. I step side the tackle.
But like Stanford, like has had great football talent. That's the thing. Is like it's not even like you think of a school like Miami. Stanford is closer to having real NFL talent on their roster than Miami has the last 10 years. Outside Cam Ward, obviously outside Cam Ward. But like, look at the talent the last 10 years that has come out, or 15 years even, that's come out of Miami as opposed to Stanford. Like McCaffrey, Luck, right? Bryce Love. Like you go down the list. Like there's been a couple offensive linemen for Stanford too. Mm-hmm. Richard Sherman. Like Stanford's had NFL real talent more recently than the U, and I think I hate to go back to firings, but like. David Shaw, getting rid of David Shaw was one of the worst things that they could have ever done. He, like, obviously, when John left to the 49ers, wasn't John? No, it was Jim. Excuse me. Jim.
It was Jim.
When Jim left to the 49ers, the first leave to the NFL, they were kind of in shambles. And David Shaw stepped in, and he was a stalemate and consistently winning either A, in the Pac-12 championship game, or B, sniffing around that and having a good, solid bowl game. Every single year, they were consistently Rose Bowl contenders.
They were recruiting a much bigger brand of offensive linemen. They're tiny now. They look like a Mountain West team.
They're tiny. It's like you said, when you have a lot of talent. I'm surprised Christian, or surprised that. I mean, obviously, Luck coming back is going to help them, but like, I don't understand that. Like, it's crazy to me because Cal has not been very, very good either for a while. Like obviously, you have USC. There's a tie for the next best team in California. And frankly, like, I know UCLA is like, you can kind of slot them in, but they play in the Big Ten where they're going to have a bad record every single week. They're going to be playing a good team, and they're going to have a bad record at the end of the year. Or Stanford may have a better record than them, or Cal may have a better record for them. And I just think, like, California has big dudes.
I just watched Mater Dei play high school football, and Mater Dei has Chris Henry Jr., which is right in the heart of Los Angeles.
Exactly. You have big dudes, okay? And obviously USC and UCLA are the hotbed, and people go to there. You're in
the middle of the ghetto if you go to USC and UCLA.
You like Stanford's a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful campus.
Beautiful, smart women. You get a degree from Stanford, you're set for life whether you go to the next level or not.
I don't know.
And like I said, quote, student athlete.
I mean, like I said, Andrew Luck first, like literally probably first week on the job because he just started this offseason. So, like, it's going to take some time to get it back. But, like, if you're a Stanford, you got to be shaking your head. And no offense to Hawaii. Hawaii, like, it's a great story. Hawaii's not playing big boy football for a reason, okay? So
did you hear the story about their kicker that made that game-winning field goal? He's from Japan. He spent a year. He learned how to kick from YouTube videos, and then he spent a year playing JUCO football in Ohio before he got his scholarship to Hawaii.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Just like me, I figure out how to put a shelf together on YouTube too. So good for that. YouTube has become our friend. No pun. Just saying.
We should just change it to tutorials. Tutorials.com.
It really has. I mean,
it's I use it for my classes. It's teaching.com too. It can be educational as well. This week has a couple matchups. We'll only talk about the two really big ones. If you're a fan of Indiana, if you're a fan of Tennessee, Syracuse, we're probably not going to touch on your game specifically. It was number 1 versus number 2. The most recent polls, it's 1 versus 3. Texas going to the Horseshoe, 10 a.m. Saturday morning on Big Noon kickoff. It's also going to be where College Game Day is, I believe. I think that they're going to be at the same location, which means that this is the site of Corso's last College Game Day. So I guess we can talk about that first, because obviously you and I both don't know a college football game day without Coach Corso, and it's been weird the last few years, and obviously it's probably time for him to move on, but we can talk about the good and the awesome memories from Saturday mornings that we have with him instead of the more recent, like, health struggles and all of that.
Well, I mean, like, it's the place where it all started, so I think it fits even more perfect. It's like him and Brutus the Buckeye helmet is where it all started, and like I said, it's obviously it happens when you come of age and you get older. It's a tougher situation, but like it's what and the College Football Game Day show is what every single sport has tried to replicate. I will say that again. College Football Game Day, the pre-show for the whole game of the shows, is what the NFL is trying to replicate. It's what the NBA tries to replicate with their games. It's what the MLB tries to replicate. It's what college basketball is trying to replicate. Every major sport is trying to replicate the same magic that College Football Game Day did. And obviously, like it's all starts and begins with what Lee Corso did and what he has done. And like there is nothing better. And I mean, the clips. It does not get better clips than Lee Corso calling a kid a midget, and saying, "What do you know, midget?" And then calling the English Ugly Bulldog that fat ugly dog every single week, and having and shooting a real cannon off in Oklahoma during the Red River rivalry and scaring the whole stadium to half to death when they hear a gun get shot off. Like, and a real gun, like it does not get better than those. And like I said, I'm thankful that we've had the time, because like I said, he made the show what it is, and like I said, it's not necessarily time to move on. It's time for him to take care of himself. I think that's the most important thing.
He's 90 years old, and he's been in football for like 85 of those years.
He coached for so many years, and obviously was a game day guy for so many years. Like it's time for him to retire. And
incredible coach too, by the way. A guy that's inspired almost 5 generations of what we see now as college football, and that's coaching.
He's a guy that from the media. He's literally a guy that would have died on the set if he could.
Yeah.
If he could. But now he has a chance to retire and be with his great grandkids and spend more time with family. And I think
his son the tribute video, if you haven't seen it, just look it up on social media. The Lee Corso tribute video, they had everybody say really nice things about him. I don't think that you can think of negative things to say unless you talk crap about your team. But even still, not so fast, my friend. His son is like a dead ringer for him, has the same voice. It's just like 40 years, 30 years, whatever it is, the junior. It'll be interesting without him there, but I do think College Game Day, because of Lee Corso, is set up for success because they know what they need to do. And they bring in – it's not that Pat McAfee's replacing Lee Corso, but that's the kind of chaotic energy that you also have to have, because Reese Davis is the setup guy. Desmond Howard Herb Street and Desmond Howard are their homers. Herb Street loves Ohio State. Desmond Howard loves Michigan. When they have Pollard on, he loves Georgia. Pat McAfee's that chaotic energy, and he learned that from Lee Corso. Yeah. And Lee Corso too. Yeah. He's the voice of college football because it was him and not Reese Davis, but Brad Fowler and Nestler is the sound of the old college football games, and that was what was fun. The Sunshine Scooter will live on in infamy. If you don't know, he was an amazing player at Florida State. I think he was an option quarterback at Florida State. And I think I've heard the Italian Rocket as one of his names. As a fellow Dago, I couldn't be more happy that he gets to finish his
It's
career.
gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be sad, but I'm glad that he's back at the place that obviously I'm not necessarily started the game day, but started the headgear and started the mascots. I hope, like, I don't know how it's physically possible, but I'm sure the game day has done something along these lines. Like, I hope they bring up every statistic of the heads of what his record is. I hope they bring a couple of celebrity heads. I hope, because look, they're gonna have him pick the games. I hope he gets to pick a game every single game and has a head on for it, and they just okay, I picked this one off with that one. Next game, this one on off. Just do it all for
Can
all.
a 90-year-old be infected with lice? Do we care?
Just, I mean, like I think it'd be cool if I'm sure Ohio State may have done this already, but they give him a Bruce the Buckeye replica head. I'm sure, I hope, like I said, my favorite two clips. I cannot emphasize enough. If you've never seen the clip of him calling a kid a midget, when telling him how his take is wrong, he says, "Go Badgers," or I think it was Georgia. I don't even know. Go Bulldogs. He's like, not so fast, midget. I'm going with the Gators. He puts on the Gator hat or something, or maybe something.
Oh my goodness, this is truly a little. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen.
It's literally a 5-year-old kid that was the guest picker. I kid you not. He called him a midget. He called him a midget. Not so fast, midget.
All right. If you're watching, you'll be able to see it. If you're listening, if you're listening, then you'll be able to hear what he says because I have the sound on. But here we go.
Go Bulldogs!
Yale Bulldogs.
Oh,
Wow.
I'll get it going. It's Yale Harvard is the matchup. I don't think that. There we go.
Yale.
Go Bulldogs!
Yale Bulldogs.
Not
Wow.
so fast, midget. Not so fast.
Midget.
Yeah, little guy. Hey, not so fast. I go with Harvard.
What's
What's the matter?
I'm going to go with Harvard.
Yeah,
I'm
see,
going to go with Harvard as well.
He had no idea.
The kid's like, I'm a midget. And I'm sorry, what?
Mommy, Daddy, what's a midget?
Oh, there were some conversations because he's wearing an Oregon jersey too, which is even funnier. He was like definitely just picking that game based upon the mascot, and he was like, "Go Bulldogs! Not so fast, midget. You don't know ball."
What's wrong?
Oh, so good. And like I said, obviously growing up with the Bulldogs and having Ugga and him calling Ugga fat ugly dog. Get that fat ugly dog on my face. And it's so good.
We also get the return of Peter this weekend. Peter Herbstreit, the golden retriever that obviously replaced the one that he lost last season. He already made an appearance on the McAfee show because Herbstreit was filling in for McAfee on his show. Let's talk about the actual game. Texas, Ohio State. Texas is preseason number 1. Ohio State, the defending national champion, preseason number 3. We already figured out that if they lose every game but beat Michigan, they'll be happy. If they win a national championship but can't beat Michigan again, they'll be terrified. It wouldn't. I did go on Ohio Sports Talk last week and did that bit with Jordan. He said, I applaud you for understanding our level of psychopathy. And I said, you know what?
I understand it more now. I think I'll be honest with you, I understand it more because of how much backlash that Ohio State is getting for banning Dave Portnoy from the stadium. So I and frankly, you won the national championship. I could give less than 2 Fs if he's in the stadium. He can sit outside and stream the game from online. I could care less.
If he sits outside the stadium and streams the game from online, he's going to have more viewers than the actual game. That's the craziest thing.
I don't know about that. But
if he's banned and he says, I'm doing a stream, I bet you most of Michigan's fan base, the ones that aren't in the stadium and not old, like the young fan base would definitely all just watch Portnoy watch the game. I think that would be, if they truly do ban him, they're going to have the stream of a lifetime. They're going to break YouTube numbers with that thing. It might crash.
The game's the game is in Michigan, isn't it? So it's not like
this year it's in Ann Arbor, yeah. So they wouldn't.
So he'll be at the game. So he'll be at the game. I understand the hatred for them, and frankly, I think I side with the Ohio State side because of the connections I have, and obviously my coach is an Ohio State fan, the Redwoods coach, and I might be attending a game this fall too with him.
It's incredible that we're as good of friends as we are because
I'm not an Ohio State fan. I know,
but even
and I don't have allegiances. You don't have. I don't have.
I'm not a Michigan fan, but in that rivalry, I love Michigan over everything Ohio State. I've never liked Ohio State.
That's fair.
That goes all the way back from when I was a kid.
That's fair. That's fair. Like I said, it's not like we're gonna scratch and claw, ruin our friendship over this game. Because, like I said, if Ohio State,
there's other things that we could ruin our friendship.
Exactly. If Ohio State loses to Michigan, you're not going to see me crying and bitching and moaning about Jimmy's team beat my. No,
we have much bigger problems before the NFL season. Actually,
yeah, I could care less. So good.
That's going to be an interesting one, and I have to teach the next day, so we'll see.
It's also week 3.
But we know how my team goes. I will be full blown.
Yeah, do or die game for you, not so much for me.
Every game this season is a do or die game for the Bengals.
Let's go back to this game.
Yeah, who wins this game? Let's just pull out who wins. Arch or whoever Ohio State throws. Let's go. Arch versus Caleb Downs, because Caleb Downs is probably the best player in this entire game. He's the safety for Ohio State.
I know and I want you to look up the starting quarterback for Ohio State, because I think that may sway my conversation here. Ohio State lost a lot of players. Travion Harrison, Quishad Jenkins, obviously. You lose Edbukov also. Like, you lost.
I believe it's going to be Julian
Sayin, right? So, like, 2 first-year starting quarterbacks starting the biggest game of their lives, week 1. Arch Manning's obviously played in the Georgia game a couple years back or last year and played in some big games against Alabama too.
He hosted UT San Antonio in Texas.
Okay, great. Yep, I'll let you have that one.
Hey, no, we can't say anything bad about them because
that's what I'm letting you have that one. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm letting you have that one. That's all I'm going to say. That's all you have that one. This is a different animal. I think Texas, look, preseason, I think I can say this now because it's preseason. I have Texas winning the national championship. I think they lose this game.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think this is the game. I think this is a slap in the face. You're not as good as you are. That Sarkisian uses. And I think Texas will be hosting the national championship at the end of the season. But I do think that Ohio State and Jeremiah Smith and everything that Caleb Downs and Sayin and company, I think it'll be too much too early.
Yeah.
Too much too early for Texas. So I'm going to go Ohio State at home. Especially at home at Ohio State, at the shoe. In Texas, different conversation. At Ohio State, I have to go with the home team.
It would be cool to have this. I think I know why they're having it be in Ohio State, because then you get the two brands on the iconic campus. They did win, and I know that they basically got the pick. They could have had this at night. Texas could have had this at night on the day after in prime time. They decided that they wanted it at 10 a.m. So who knows what went into that decision. I said last week I picked Ohio State because I don't know if you're Texas that you want to win this game, because if you do win this game, not that you want to lose, but if you win, it automatically kickstarts that Texas is back conversation. And anytime that we have the Texas is back conversation flowing, Texas, they shoot themselves in the foot. I do think that they have the disadvantage of being on the road. Who knows what they're going to be able to do to replace the NFL talent that they lost. They lost a lot on their defense. It's not necessarily that their offense, their defense was damn good last year. So with everything that Ohio State has, including Jeremiah Smith, I can't see that Ohio State would lose this one at home. If it was a few games in and Texas kind of was able to figure out who they are, this will be a good game like week 7, 8 of the SEC schedule. We played Ohio State. We know where we match up against them. Let's continue to get better so that we can be in the SEC conversation. I don't think losing this game derails Texas's season.
It doesn't derail either of these teams.
And it doesn't put Ohio State in the – I mean, it does well for them if they win.
Both of these teams, unless they lose – So let's put it into conversation, because is it Texas versus Texas A&M? That's their last game of the year?
Yes.
Okay, so put in the conversation. Say Ohio State loses this week. If they want to make the playoff, you can't lose another game outside of Michigan.
Yeah.
I'll say that. That's a real conversation. So Ohio State loses to a Purdue or whoever, and they lose to Michigan, you're on the outside looking in for the playoff. Texas. You lose this game, you can't. I would even go a step further. You can't lose. I take that back. I think Texas A&M is probably an easier game than what they'll face. But you can't lose 2 games. Again, you have to win one of Georgia versus Alabama or Alabama game.
They have Georgia. They don't play Alabama this year, but you have the Oklahoma game. That's always a big rivalry. They'll have Texas on their schedule that already got flexed into a later start time. Like there's teams that are on the Texas schedule that scare me a lot more than Ohio State. I think after Ohio State plays Texas, they'll have that Oregon game. That one will be at home again. So again, you're relying on the shoe.
It's going to be a worse Oregon team also than you.
And Indiana is going to be in the shoe too. And you handled Indiana under Coach Zanetti last year on the road. I don't see Ohio State slipping as much if they win this game. They have the much easier schedule. So Texas,
so I'm saying
they might want to win more, but at least if you lose this one, then you're out of room for error. That might be the best thing.
And I think we'll have this conversation in 2 or 3 months. It's like Texas, a 3-loss Texas team. Just say that 3-loss Texas team. Say they lose this game. Say they lose to Georgia. Say they lose one more game to I don't even know, Oklahoma by accident. If they're that 12th team, they'll be in.
Yeah, if they're the 12th team, but that also takes into account
or 13th team, even 13th team, like 13th ranked, they'd be like, yeah, the 12th ranked team is, just say, for instance, Boise State. I don't even know if that's going to be right, but just say, for instance, they'll jump them.
You just have to hope that all the other conferences eat each other alive too, which is what we got last year, which is why we had such a hot debate going into who was going to make the bracket. If the conferences play out the way that everybody assumes that they're going to play out, that's where you have very little room for error. And if you are that 13th team, you will have other teams with legitimate conversations because you'll have more 2-loss teams than you'll have 3-loss teams. And if you're that 1 3-loss team, whether in the SEC or not, I don't give a shit about the Southeastern Conference propaganda. Every conference has teams that you don't want to play and that you don't want to lose to. The SEC is not like they were, but now everybody's starting to get a little bit closer because now the money's out in the open, baby. You can't buy a gold Trans Am.
And it's not necessarily even across the college football landscape. It's across the SEC. Like you said, like LSU is obviously very, very good.
LSU has the other big game. So LSU versus Miami is the other really big one.
No, LSU Clemson. It's LSU Clemson.
Oh, yeah, LSU Clemson, Miami.
LSU's been very, very good, right? Florida is looking to have a comeback here. Georgia's obviously still very good. Texas, like the depth between the worst team and the best team in the SEC, as opposed to, I'll even go a step further and say the Big Ten, is way different. Yep. Like you have 4 real contenders in the Big Ten. You have 6 or 7 teams in the SEC that you could arguably say will get a top 4 seed.
And you now have the added stipulation. They just voted to add a 9th conference game. So SEC used to do 8 where they get a cupcake at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. It doesn't help them, but it helps the conversation that's one of the toughest conferences because instead of getting Furman in November, you have to play another SEC school in November.
Holy Cross, Alabama facing Holy Cross in November.
The Citadel could give us a shot, can't they? No, they can't. They cannot.
I don't know. Like I said, I'll stamp it that I have Texas winning the Natty. I don't know if they'll win the SEC. I think we'll have to have a better conversation about that a month from now, 2 months from now. But I think they lose this game. They go on. They go on a run though.
Let's go to the Battle of Death Valleys because LSU will be going to the Clemson Death Valley. 9 versus 4 is the matchup. Brian Kelly,
2 top quarterbacks in college football.
Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik. It's a marquee matchup for a reason, and it's going to be kicking off in primetime on ABC. It's the Saturday primetime game. So normally LSU plays on the Labor Day, but since they're playing the day early, everybody will get a chance to see. It will be – it's kind of – I don't think that either coach – if we're going to talk about coaches on the hot seat, Brian Kelly's on the hot seat. I don't know if Dabo's on the hot seat because who else is going to move to Clemson, South Carolina and be as invested in coaching that program as he will be?
3 national championships.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's obviously got the clout to back it up too.
He will be there as long as he wants to.
It is, though, Brian Kelly, like you can't talk about the athletes because that was his excuse at Notre Dame. You've been there long enough that this is your team. And I think that I said it when we talked about the Any Given Sunday where they profiled LSU with South Carolina. It's nice to see that he's not the total robot D-bag that I thought he was. He's still not a guy that I would necessarily want to play for. But if you can get your guys to play and play up to their standard of the talent that you have in Louisiana, this should be a game that you walk away with because we talked about it last week. The ACC is barely hanging on as a Power 4 conference. Clemson is their last hope of being a Power 4 conference.
Clemson
And Miami.
But I think this is like I just said, how Texas and Ohio State, we won't really mean a lot in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, it means a big lot to the first week in the record wise, but in the grand scheme of things, both these teams will be in the playoffs. I seriously think that this is going to be a real test between these two teams, and that if we see one of these two teams be a real contender. Because I think if LSU wins this game, we could put them in the conversation of being a real contender. If Clemson dominates this game from start to finish, we're like, okay, here comes the ACC. Right here is the Clemson's a real contender in the college football. And on the flip side, the loser, I could see really falling apart after this. Clemson did it. Clemson did it. Clemson did it last
2 years ago. 2 years ago, Clemson made the playoff last year, but 2 years ago, yes, Clemson. That was when they truly fell apart. That was also before Dabo started accepting transfers.
Also true. I think I could see the rails fall off very quickly. And if you're Nussmeier and Craig Klubnik, I know you're not thinking about the NFL, but you want to talk about putting a game on tape. This is your grand opportunity.
Oh yeah,
ABC prime time 4 versus 9. It doesn't get much more hype than this.
But I would say as a unit, the Clemson defense holds a lot more water than the LSU defense, especially when you get down to crunch time in these early weeks of the season. That was the Achilles heel of the last 2 years. I think it's 2 years ago to Notre Dame, last year to USC. They're up 10, 13 points in the fourth quarter, and they can't get a stop in the fourth quarter on defense. So if their defense is there and can play in the big situations, then I don't think that the Tigers have anything to worry about. The LSU Tigers, that is. That's crazy. It's the same stadium name. It's the same mascot name. You're basically in the same place in South Carolina and in Louisiana, but, we'll deal with it. Who do you think comes away with the victory in this matchup?
I'll go Clemson. I don't know. I'm drinking more of the Cade Klubnik Kool-Aid than I am the Nussmeier Kool-Aid is all I'll say. I think Klubnik is a guy who had some spurts last year where he really impressed me. And I think he's, like I said, I don't know if he's going to be.
He's more athletic too than Nussmeier. He can move around a little bit more.
Nussmeier is a guy that needs a little bit more protection, needs his guys to do more things for him. And I think Klubnik can maybe take over a game a little bit more. So I'll lean Clemson here.
I really don't like either of these coaches, but if I'm going to say which one I like a little bit more, and that's not saying much, I would say that Dabo is definitely a guy that I trust more to get his team going, especially in this point of the season. If anybody's telling Clemson how bad the ACC is looked at nationally, it's Dabo. And by saying that, by making that a point of emphasis, and I think this and obviously South Carolina at the very end of the season with their rivalry game, that could be 2 SEC wins on your resume, and that's what put them into the playoff last year with 3 losses as a conference champion. So just win these 2 SEC games, and then we don't have to worry about how terrible your ACC schedule is.
These 2 wins, those 2 wins and an ACC championship, you're in the playoff.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
There's
Frankly,
no doubt about that.
There's no beating around the bush. They're in the playoff. Frankly, they could be an argument for a bye even.
Mm-hmm. The other team in the ACC that we're paying attention to going up against the team that lost in the national championship on Sunday, Catholics versus Convicts rivalry being renewed.
By the way, this is one of my most slept-on favorite rivalries. I love it.
It is. It's cool because it's always at the beginning of the season because Notre Dame gets to decide when they play you, and they decided to play them week 1 this year. Mario Cristobal with the 10th ranked Miami Hurricanes with Carson Beck trying to replace the number 1 overall draft pick in Cam Ward and not Colston Loveland, but they had a really good tight end too. In
Elijah Arroyo.
Arroyo, yes. And a really good slot receiver. Here's the thing about Miami is that they might come out and shock you early because they did that against Florida last year. But if I'm looking at the way these 2 programs are moving, and I put a lot of faith into Mario Cristobal when he got moved from Oregon to Miami. But Marcus Freeman has done something with his Notre Dame program that nobody thought was possible. Like Brian Kelly came out and said as the head coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, we will never be able to compete in the playoff era of college football. Well, Marcus Freeman said, excuse me?
I'm sorry. I beg your.
We can do that. And we did that with a quarterback who could barely throw the football.
With an offense that was so one-dimensional, it was funny. And now they have I don't even know.
I'm looking up who it is.
Now they have an offense that Jeremiah Love, obviously, they got the running back who's going to be a first-round pick in next year's draft. He's
on the short list of Heisman favorites at the beginning of the year too.
He's going to be very, very good for this team. Notre Dame has built something special, and like I said, I have a soft spot for Notre Dame because obviously half my team is from Notre Dame, and obviously like I think the leprechaun logo that they made with the football is pretty sick. So they do have some fun unis and the play like a champion day is cool, the helmets and all that, blah 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 blah. But as a guy that is a Miami truther, a guy that stood on his 2 feet that said Miami needs to make the playoff or I'm out. The Miami Hurricanes need to win this football game. I'll
It's at
say
home. It's at home too.
I'll say it. This is a must-win football game for Mario Cristobal. It's a must-win football game.
They're
know
2.5 point underdogs at home.
This is a must-win football game if you want to be a national championship contender because there is zero excuses. You threw the season away last year. Threw it away. You were in conversation for a bye. Remember that? Where if they win the ACC championship, they would have got a bye. Would have been the fourth team, and Boise State would have been the fourth team. And instead, you lose to Syracuse. You lose the ACC championship.
Blew a 21-point lead against Syracuse.
Didn't
even make the ACC championship, Nico. They didn't even make the conference championship game. It was SMU versus Clemson.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. That's right. It is like you have to. I'm sorry. I know I sound like Courage. I know I sound like it, but I'm sorry. As a guy who was a Hurricane fan growing up because we went there, you have to win. Cristobal, your good is gone. I'll say it. This is a if not now when because the Cam Ward conversation. Yeah, Cam Ward wasn't there and he's gone now. You have a quarterback that has been in the playoff multiple times, by the way. In Carson Beck. I understand he's not the best quarterback in college football, but a guy has playoff experience and big game experience. This is a must-win football game because I'm going to tell you right now, Michael Irvin, Ray Lewis, everyone that is a Miami truther and guys that played for the Hurricanes are not going to stand for not making a 12-team playoff.
It's a $22.5 million buyout, just to throw that out there.
We've seen a lot worse.
Oh, Billy Napier had a GoFundMe that reached $1,000 for his buyout.
We've seen a lot worse. Jimbo Fisher, I'm pretty sure, is still getting paid by Texas A&M.
Yes.
So we've seen a lot worse, is all I'll say. And there's places in the country that have a lot of money. Miami's one of them, okay?
And
so,
they've used dirty money. They've used clean money. They've used money that's in
the
process
will
of being
pay the
laundered.
$22 million under the table and be like, get the fuck out of here, just so I can get my team back to relevance.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I think that I trusted enough in what they did with the program last year, and I don't think whoever they start at quarterback, there's 3 guys that are listed in the quarterback battle. I think that he'll be able to throw better than Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard couldn't
better, anyways.
Well, Riley Leonard was a great runner. That was what he did at Duke before he transferred. Couldn't throw. If you can throw a little bit, you win a lot of those playoff games a lot easier than what you did.
You're not. It's not 3rd and 8. Be like, all right, Jeremiah Love, let's run 8 yards this time.
You need to break 6 tackles and gain 8 yards so that we
can't throw the ball that far. So you got to break 8 tackles to get 8 yards instead of being able to throw the ball on 3rd and 7 and have a quarterback that can consistently do that. I mean, I'll take Notre Dame as well. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll take Notre Dame as well. It's gonna be funny, is because we'll be practicing during this game, and I know all my Notre Dame guys will be turning the game on the second the game ends. So I'm excited. This is, like I said, this is one of my favorite rivalries. I know it's not necessarily a rivalry anymore, but the convicts versus Catholics thing is still so much fun.
If you haven't watched the 30 for 30, I highly recommend it. Those old school T-shirts are still some of my favorite to snag online or whenever I can find them. Lots of college football coming up this weekend. It's week 1. We'll have more big matchups to talk about, and then conference week will start in I think it's week 4, so about a month into the season. Let's get into our NFL preview because we are coming up. Like I said last week, I do have practice that I got to get to on the days that we record these. So I know you're seeing this live on Thursday, but Wednesday I need to get to the field. AFC and NFC South. We're putting them together because we did run out of time. We have to get the West done, and we got to do both of them next week before week 1 officially kicks off. We might even be able to split it, but for the South, we don't need to split it because these are 2 very poor divisions. Daniel Jones is the starting quarterback of the Colts, and he has Anthony Richardson behind him in the AFC South. CJ Stroud is still head and shoulders above anybody else at quarterback in that division, and the closest guy to him might be a rookie who hasn't taken a true NFL snap yet. In the NFC
Are we out
South,
on Trevor Lawrence? Are we all the way out? Are we all the way out on Trevor?
with what he's been able to
People
do,
are saying if they suck this year, they may move on.
it's literally like it's the 4th year of his rookie deal. This is the year that he has to either prove that
and he's done nothing. He's literally
actually he's not even on his rookie deal anymore. He's got an extension.
He's won one playoff game. That frankly he luckily ran into a worse playoff choker. Yeah, ran into a playoff choker.
Yeah.
I mean I'll make this quick because I know we got to make this quick. I have Houston, obviously the best team.
Nico Collins is going to have a huge year for my fantasy team.
I love that pick. Nico Collins is going to be awesome. I love what Houston's doing. I love the pickup of Jaden Higgins. And they drafted the other.
And getting rid of Stephon Diggs was big, especially with the 2C on the boat.
For whatever reason.
By the way, he's not dating Cardi B anymore.
And maybe that's worse off for the Patriots, is all I'm going to say. You love to talk about him leaving and how much better it is, but when he's on the Patriots, you say he's going to help the team. Is all I'm going to say.
Vrabel will put him in a chokehold in front of the entire team.
Either way, I don't think it's helping much. I have Texans. I'll put Jaguars too. I think the Jaguars are. I don't know.
It's literally just picking the best of the bad.
I don't know. It's best of the bad. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Because who do you have 3-4? Because this is where this one might get contentious.
I'll put Tennessee 3. I'll put Tennessee 3. And I'll say the Colts are the worst team.
Does Steichen make it past halfway through the season?
No. If Daniel Jones starts 0-5, because I mean, I don't know what their schedule looks like, but I think the Colts are drafting a quarterback. The Colts would love nothing more, Jimmy, than have Arch Manning be their quarterback next year. That's not.
Ooh, Dolphins, Broncos, Titans, Rams, Raiders.
Okay, so Dolphins, you know what? Let's go down the list. Dolphins, I think it's Dolphins win. I think we blow the brakes off Daniel Jones. Next, what's after that?
Titans.
I'll say Cam Ward gets his first win.
That's in Tennessee, too. That's their game in Tennessee.
I'll go Tennessee. Next.
Rams. Los Angeles.
Rams demolish them.
Raiders at home.
That might be the first winnable game.
So then it would be 1-4 or 5 weeks into the season.
You have to just if you're 1-5, 1-6, whatever, the question in your mind is this. Do you start Anthony Richardson?
Does that make it better?
No. But to see what you have, so you could try to trade him in the offseason so that you're just worse and that you can get Arch Manning. That's the conversation.
Is Arch going to allow him? Is Archie going to allow Arch to get? Arch isn't coming out this next year, according to what he said. And I don't think that the Colts would be high on his list because they ran a Hall of Fame talent out because they refused to protect him.
Didn't Dion also say Shador's coming back last year? So I mean, and his dad was the coach.
I don't think he had any. I think he actually was out of eligibility. I don't think that he.
Okay, so maybe it was Travis or something. I don't remember. I thought maybe he said that they weren't coming back.
He just said that he was going to pull an Eli and force a trade if he got drafted for the Browns in the first round, which then he got drafted to the Browns in the fifth round, and it was eerily quiet.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get to that here soon. I don't know. I don't really have to waste our breath on this. It's Texans. I'm picking Jaguars because I don't know. I still think Trevor Lawrence could be halfway decent, maybe. I don't know. I love Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's going to be an elite receiver for them, and I think if Trevor Lawrence starts to use him well, I think
another guy that's on the Prime Meridian monster.
Their defense is so horrible. Talk about like a mistake at drafting. Imagine if they got Aiden Hutchinson instead of Trayvon Walker, was that his name?
Yeah, Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker, who has done literally nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He's in the last year of his deal. They're going to have to decide whether or not they're going to move on or franchise him.
I think they move on from him. To be honest with you, he's done absolutely nothing for that team. So, I have Texans, Jaguars, Titans, Colts. I seriously think that the Titans will push Jacksonville for the same.
Their defense is good enough that they could sneak in a few more wins, and it is NFL players. So at some point they might get good and have a game where they get hot. We watched the Panthers, play pretty well in person for a quarter or a half, whatever you want to say, against the Broncos. But it is.
By the way, you remember that guy that we were talking shit to on this island, Sam Franklin?
Franklin.
Yeah, he's a Bronco.
Nice. Did he make the cut?
Yeah, he made the cut. He's a free. He's a special teams guy on the Broncos. Makes it even better.
Hey, he was a hell of a special team. I think he was a special teams captain on the Panthers.
Captain, it's perfect. Love it.
Don't recognize it. Now he's going to be on the opposite sideline, so there's no way he'll recognize him.
Exactly, no shot. But he remember how much shit we talked to him, and
it was a lot.
And that's why he wanted to come play for us.
I think then, it was great. The NFC South is, again, I think a division where you can pretty much call the winner, and then you're picking the best of the bad. Do you think Michael Penix makes that much of a difference in Atlanta?
No,
because it's his team now.
I understand it's his team. I think the team is very reliant on him not messing up and him being smart. And I think he was smart with the football in Washington. But I will say he is. We'll bring this conversation up from last 2 years ago. Cough, cough, Brock Purdy, a game manager of sorts. He needs to do that. He needs to be smart. He has a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of talent. Drake London is a great receiver to have, right? Darnell Mooney, a great guy. Kyle Pitts, a guy that obviously is a fantasy football dud, but a guy can go out and catch balls. Bijan Robinson may be the best running back in football already. Like, if he plays smart and plays the cards smart, and the Falcons do that, and who's the head coach there? What's his name?
Raheem
Moore, and I think he will be. Raheem Moore is a defensive guy. Their defense plays smart football, and they finally able to rush the passer, which they got. I think it was Dallas Turner, right? It was Dallas Turner. Is that the guy? Dallas Turner now coming in his first year. I think he's going to be very, very good. I like this Falcons team a lot. I don't know what it is. I think as Penix gets out of his own way, I think they'll be just fine. But in the great words of Lee Corso, I have them finishing third in this division. I will go on. Look, I don't know.
Carolina is going to be second.
Well, I mean, obviously Tampa's the best.
Yeah, obviously that's the team that's going to win. They have the best quarterback.
I love what Bryce Young did at the end of the season. They benched his ass. And then he played great football at the end.
It looked just like it used to look in the preseason.
I know, but like, I think coming into his own, having a good running game now with Chuba Hubbard, having a legit number one receiver in Ted McMillan is going to help him so much too. And having a defense that is coming to its own as well, I think the Panthers are going to be the second best team in this division. I don't know. I feel like this is that sophomore year leap that we're looking for rookie quarterbacks for Bryce Young, or maybe it's third year now.
It would be his third year, but the first year was temper infected.
So. Exactly. So I don't know. I have the Panthers, and look, I think it's like arguing tomatoes between the Panthers and the Falcons. I don't think either teams are real contenders. I think the Panthers, I think the Falcons would have a better chance to win a playoff game as opposed to the Carolina Panthers. But I think you can flip-flop either of those two. And the Saints are the worst team in football. I don't need it.
Rattler officially named starting quarterback for the New Orleans.
I don't need to be a dead horse here. The Saints are the worst team in football. I hope Devon Bailey goes out and balls for them, but they are the worst team in football. And they're hoping to lose every football game so they can draft Arch Manning.
They're Aints for a reason. I'm going to copy and paste what it was last year. I think the Falcons will finish second. I think that Tampa probably wins an extra game instead of winning the division at 10-7. They'll win it at 11-6 because now I know there's lost Cohen, but I think that Baker and Tampa is where they need to be.
I love what Tampa's doing, man. I'll be honest with you. Like you want to talk about teams in the NFC that could scare the Eagles. I love what Tampa's doing, man. Adding Ibuka, getting Bucky Irving in year 2 with more reps, adding on the defensive front as well. Seriously, I think Tampa is a real contender in the NFC. I really do. And Baker, like I said, I'm a Baker believer. So
yeah, I think that Tampa was a few plays away from moving even further into the playoffs, and I think that they'll be able to take that next step. Let's get into our top 5. Top 5 athlete couples. Yeah.
Love is in the air. And I will say, both of our lists, Jimmy doesn't have one couple that's still together. So take it out what you will. Take it out what you will.
What? Love and athletes, they don't go together. Trust me. I'll start my list since you mentioned it. My 5, it was the athlete couple of our childhood.
The premier.
Tony Romo, Jennifer Jennifer Simpson.
Jessica
Simpson. Jessica. This was pure Dukes of Hazzard, Jessica Simpson, by the way. And Tony Romo was caught looking up at the booth where his girlfriend was when he was trying to set the PAT, and it didn't go well in the playoffs. But that one, I just love that one because
look, everything, all the clips you've seen of Taylor Swift in the booth for at Chiefs games is everything we got of Jessica Simpson. Jessica Simpson walked so Taylor Swift could run. Okay, you want to talk about booth look-ins? They looked at Jessica Simpson every game, twice a half. I'm pretty sure. Yes,
no, it was, and that was when Brent Musburger was still allowed to call games on TV. So you know that they were showing that as often as they could. My number 4 has actually happened two times. A-Rod and J-Lo almost got married the first time, broke up. I think J-Lo married Ben Affleck. They broke up. They got divorced. She got back with A-Rod. They were engaged, and then I think they broke up, and she was back with, and she married Ben Affleck again.
And then A-Rod got divorced again.
Yes. I don't even know if A-Rod's ever been married. The thing you have to know about A-Rod, he has a life-size picture of himself as a Minotaur in his house. And I think he used to kiss it on the lips. At least that was the story that I've heard.
It's the old dodgeball meme. It's like...
That's me taking the bull by the horns.
It's like, why do you have a painting of you naked taking the bull by the horns? Because why don't I have it?
It's a metaphor, but that actually happened.
It's so good. So good.
Brady and Giselle. If you watch the Brady roast, you know Giselle was not faithful towards the end of the relationship. Who knows if Brady was faithful? The jiu-jitsu guy. The jiu-jitsu guy. The karate instructor.
Unfortunate. The jiu-jitsu guy's bad name.
She is Brazilian, so I guess it makes sense that she would fall for a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. So I had a lot of picks for my number 2, but Aaron Rodgers.
I love your number 2. That might be my favorite one.
You remember when Danica was like the hot thing with the GoDaddy commercials, and Aaron Rodgers like, I kind of like that.
That was one. That may be a one that I totally forgot about. That I was like, wow, that's a great poll. That's a great.
I was just about to text you Rodgers and Olivia Munn too, and then I was like, no, we got to go with the OG. We got to go with Danica.
That's a great poll. If you don't know who Danica Patrick is, she was a race car driver in NASCAR, dated Aaron Rodgers for what, maybe a year at max?
I think it was the NASCAR season.
Like that, not even. It was that was the it couple in sports talk radio back in the 2010s.
It made Danica Patrick hot because if you really look at it, she's pretty, but it wasn't like she was put on another level when she was dating Aaron Rodgers, especially because that was when he was winning his MVPs,
winning Super Bowls. I'm pretty sure she was she with him?
She was the girlfriend. Yes, she was the girlfriend in the Super Bowl game that Rodgers won.
That's right.
My number 1.
That's what I'm saying. Travis Taylor are getting all the publicity. There were people that came before them.
Yes.
Okay.
My number 1 is Tiger and Elin. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the last name, but Tiger was the golden boy. He was seen as the all-American, perfect guy. Never made a mistake.
It was the worst breakup in sports history.
It wasn't even a breakup, Nico. It was scandal. I cheated on you with as many women as I could possibly find.
In terms of the biggest scandal in sports history, number 1 is Lance Armstrong. Number 2, Tiger Woods is up there.
Oh yeah.
In terms of
this was the height of his Masters too. I think he just won a tournament. This was before the car crash.
I thought it was after the car crash. I don't remember exactly.
No, it wasn't after the car crash. This was the wife that he had cheated on before the car crash had happened, and then that was like, oh well, Tiger Woods isn't like the all-American golden boy. He's a little bit more O.J. Simpson than what we had.
All I'm saying is you picked a bunch of couples that basically all of them hate each other's guts now. So, because let's go to my top 5 because I think mine all fit very well.
Oh, you're starting things off with a couple that wasn't even a legitimate couple.
Hold on a second. Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. They were married for a year. Real couple.
And you know who she banged on the side? JFK.
JFK. I know exactly. I'm well aware of that. But Joe DiMaggio and Blake Monroe. Sorry, that's the wrestler. Marilyn Monroe were the it couple back in the day. That had to start the list. Number 5. Number 4. Talk about the biggest stars in the world. David and Victoria Beckham. The Spice Girls. Victoria Beckham. And one of the biggest pop music bands in the world, and the biggest sports star of if not the biggest, after Michael Jordan retired, David Beckham was him.
Just don't listen to him speak. His voice does not match the body or the aura, but if you put them in a no dialogue cologne commercial, you'll sell millions of units.
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And number 3, I think this one slapped on a lot. Kate
They're
Upton,
still together too. They are still together.
Have a beautiful family. Kate Upton and Justin Verlander. Kate Upton was everyone's heartthrob in the 2010s. Everybody's. And then she married Justin Verlander. We're like, Justin Verlander? The Cy Young winning pitcher, the Hall of Famer? Yeah, that's Justin Verlander. Like, I don't think it get much better in terms of happily ever afters. In terms of star player actress. And then Kate Upton and Justin Verlander. Obviously, number 1 on this list.
She's
comes
not an
out for
actress.
a reason. Either way, not an actress. But basically an actress.
I'm trying to get the Swifties riled up. Not
and number 2, Kim K, and insert name here.
If you were gonna pick a Kardashian, I was gonna pick Khloe and
she only had
Khloe.
one though. She's only had one.
Not Khloe, Lamar. Yeah, that one.
Kim K has a roster. Let's go through the roster. Just to name a couple. Miles Austin, one of the greatest fantasy football players of all time, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush.
She got married to Reggie Bush, didn't she?
Reggie Bush. She got married to Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, legend. Reggie Bush, legend. Chris Humphries. Exactly. For those NBA fans, people remember the Chris Humphries saga. Chris Humphries saga, where he dated her was married to her for a month, and then they called the divorce off in less than a month. They literally were engaged 10 times longer than they were married. Some other ones that Google, which doesn't really help me a whole lot here, but the other high-profile individuals. Pete Davidson.
Yes.
Kanye West.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately.
Nick Cannon. And this is a new one to me. OBJ.
For a minute.
For a minute.
The one that really started her career, though, was Ray J.
I know, Ray J, too. Damon Thomas, was he a ball player? I don't even know. He's a ball player.
The game, rappers. It should be rappers / athletes for her.
So I'm saying, you insert name. That's why I didn't want it would have been too much, too disrespectful to put Kim K in a name here. That's why I put Kim K in parentheses.
You gotta respect the roster.
Gotta respect the roster. Number 1, the reason why we're doing this list, Kelsey and Taylor Swift. Look, I don't think I like to joke. I joked around with my girlfriend. I was like, I bet you $20 that I found out about the engagement before you did. And she's like, what? He's like, I got an Adam Schefter ESPN report that they got engaged before you knew. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, ESPN. Adam Schefter was reporting it live on the air, and I found out before you did. So put that in your juice box. I love love. Love is awesome. It's amazing. The more Travis Kelce does off the field, the more I like him, because I still hate his guts with all ounce of my being when he's on the field. But the more off the field I see him, I'm like, you know what?
I've
probably lived the exact same life. Oh, I want to be in an Adam Sandler movie? Sure. Oh, I have a childhood crush on Taylor Swift and a celebrity crush on Taylor Swift. I'll put it out in the air and just try to come to reality. Oh, I want to start a podcast with my brother and become the talk of the town. Oh, I'll just do that. Oh, I want to start a tight end university, which has shows on ESPN now and NFL Network, and become a whole thing because I started it. Oh, I'll do that. Travis Kelce off the field is living the best life. I'm happy for him. Happy for Taylor Swift. Happy for them. Taylor Swift deserves it. There will be no more breakup songs. Knock on wood. If there's talk about an all-time breakup song if something happens. Is all I'm gonna say. If Travis fumbles the bag, it may be the greatest breakup song of all time. Because I don't think Travis realizes the world he's in right now. Because if he fumbles this, if he does something stupid, something utterly beyond stupid, he will never recover from this. Not sure on this. It will be lifetime. He will never recover from this.
But here's the good thing you need to know about this. All those girls know that too. So nobody wants to be the girl that Travis Kelce was cheating on Taylor Swift with. So I think that this is like I know that the engagement ring should be a symbol that you are off limits to anybody. But if you're wearing an engagement ring with TS as the initials on it, I think all the other women will be like, I really am interested. And you're obviously he's 6'5", plays professional football, has been in movies.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer, one of the best tight ends of all time.
There's a million other reasons women would like him. But the fact that he's Taylor Swift's fiance.
He does not have half the net worth she does. Not even half.
No prenup, right, baby? No prenup, right?
A quarter of the net worth she has.
She just bought back all of her fucking music. And she re-recorded all of them and released it for billions of more dollars.
And she has a new album coming out.
Nico. The last album. So I get really excited when we hit a certain number of streams. In the last album that she released, 12.5 billion streams in a week.
Billion.
Not even all time. The first week.
There's not even a billion people on this planet.
Yes.
Oh, no, 12 billion. Are there 12 billion people?
No.
I don't know.
Not 12 billion, but there's not 12 billion.
There's not 12 billion people.
Listened, all 6 billion people listened to the album twice.
Over again. Everyone over again. I love, and I'm so happy for them, and you know what? Good for them. This raises the question, Jimmy. Let's ask the real questions here.
Oh, no.
He was going to propose after the Super Bowl win.
Oh.
He was?
Yeah.
3 months later, you can't tell me it's a coincidence.
So does this put more credence to all of those conspiracy theories about the referees last year now?
Eagles saved us.
Was that pass interference really pass interference against the Bengals? I don't know. I really don't know.
They weren't even together at that point.
Yeah, they were.
That was 5 years ago.
No, I'm talking about the week 2 matchup last year.
Oh, the week 2 matchup.
Remember all the one-score games? The one-score games. Did Leo Chanel really put Alex Forsythe on his back, or was he paid to take a dive by the NFL? Did
the Chiefs defensive lineman get a little bit extra baby hot sauce powder put in his shorts to block that game-winning field goal?
That's what I'm saying. Leo Chanel was told, if you go over 54, we paid him an extra $12.5 million this week to take a dive so that you guys can stay in the winning column.
If you don't know Stavros is one of the funniest guys on the earth. He went on a whole rant. He was like, the Chiefs weren't even good last year. They're doing this all for a reason because they want the views. Because Lamar Jackson is not going to bring up views for the Super Bowl as opposed to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. It's the unfortunate reality that nobody wants to admit, but he is not wrong.
He had the ring. All I'm going to say is, anyone that I'm not proposing soon. I'm sorry, girlfriend. We just started dating. I just you get a proposal ring far in advance. He definitely had the ring during the Super Bowl, is all I'm going to say. It was there.
My favorite videos the last few days have been like Travis Kelce, how the proposal went down. It's like, oh, look, my shoe's untied. Oh, my God, I even have the post ready for this to be happening. And if I hit send, I will send the Swifties after you. So you better have a goddamn ring in your pocket, too.
Oh, my gosh. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, my God. Like I said, I can't lose my mind at women losing their mind over her getting engaged. I've learned that my reaction after screaming at the top of my lungs when Will Lutz's kick got blocked for a field goal and we lost to the Chiefs, and I realized me crying real tears after the Nuggets won the championship. I have no room to blame women for over-exaggerating over it. Enjoy it. This is your Super Bowl. My Super Bowl happens every year, and I still have hope we can win it every year. You only get this once. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You deserve it.
Well. Who's not to say that Taylor doesn't enjoy the relationship at some point? How long can you be the smartest one in the room?
All I'm saying is this: if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and they do an impromptu wedding after the Super Bowl, we'll know the NFL's rigged.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. What is this 1990s WWF?
So I'm saying,
are we gonna get
Goodell's gonna be the person that says all the night.
There is no Super Bowl halftime show. There is no Super Bowl halftime show, but we get the vignette of Travis and Taylor recreate the Triple H Stephanie McMahon initial wedding, where she's passed out in the car because they went to Vegas and they drive through the wedding chapel, And we get that up on the screen.
and then wait for it. Here, you want to hear real cinema? Stone Cold's music hits at the end of the Super Bowl, and Josh Allen proposes to Haley Steinfeld after they win the Super Bowl.
They're already married.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Fuck, I messed that up. Never mind.
A vow renewal.
Vow renewal. There we go. We're back. Oh, fudge. I forgot about that. That they got married already.
That was like the first episode of Hard Knocks. I know you probably haven't watched Hard Knocks too, because why would you watch Hard Knocks on a team that's good? It's really boring. We watched KJ Hamler ride a scooter for 15 minutes. I swear, I shit
good
you
for him.
not.
He's still in the league, right?
He is still in the league. I think that he made the cut day. Let's get back on track. By the way, thanks to the weather here in Colorado, we don't have that much of a time crunch anymore because my practice was canceled. So
good.
We have a bye week. I don't have to worry about that. Let's get into player of the week. I know that you have a lot to say about yours. Mine is just kind of a throw in there because I did see this over the weekend, and I've been talking about the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. I was a catcher, so it is also a little bit personal, but he broke the single-season home run record. He hit his 48th and 49th home run of the season as a majority of the time catcher. I know he DHs a little bit, but hey, I've caught multiple games in a row. You want to keep a bat like that in the lineup, tell him he can DH on his days that he's not catching, and I bet you he hits 15 more home runs just in the season in general. That dude, it's a season to remember for sure.
Is he the MVP?
No, it's going to be judged because it's Seattle versus New York.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, I guess we have to see because Seattle, I think, right now is in playoff contention, or at least he's the reason why they're fighting.
Aren't they?
Yes, they are. That's what I'm saying. So if Seattle makes the playoffs and Judge doesn't make a wild card, that could be. I know that's not a postseason award, but that might be like what sways.
But at the end of the season, they figure out the votes, and if the Yankees are, if Judge is already planning vacation.
It's the crazy thing about baseball, though, is that those sports writers think that they have a true job, like what they do is important. So they might. I have no clue. It's one of the hardest things in the game. It's really easy because normally you have way better stats than anybody else. In this, it doesn't matter because if a baseball writer is a buddy with somebody, that's who they're going to vote for.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, you're not wrong. It's unfortunate. Not unfortunate that he's in Seattle because Seattle Mariners fans deserve it. Frankly, they've had great players like Ichiro and Ken Griffey Jr. and just
Felix Hernandez.
Never won anything. So I'm glad to see that they have some success, individual success. Hopefully, they have team success soon as well. But I mean, for us. Mid-major schools or mid-major states, as we like to call it, mid-major states like Seattle. I hope that they can get a little bit of love in the MVP conversation. My player of the week, I talked about him earlier, the GOAT, Chase Erlin, in net, 18 saves, 60% save percentage, 3 goals allowed the entire second half. That's insane. That's a whole, I believe it's 12-minute quarters, so maybe 24 minutes. 24 minutes with only 3 goals allowed. Playoff win, obviously, got the team to the semifinals. A guy that obviously he made big save after big save after big save. My play of the week, I'll even add it on top of that. He made this save where he turned around and basically just put his stick behind him when he got beat and made this insane save that I was just in awe of. And that was when we were down 10-5, by the way. That save led to a 2-point goal on the other end, got the team turned around for us. So big game chases we're calling it with my player of the week.
I'm trying to see if I can pull up that save. I don't think that I'm going to be able to find it in enough time. I also don't know how to spell Erlin, so that
Ierlan. I bet you don't spell Chase right. Spell Chase right.
Chase?
Nope. Chayse. I know. Even better.
Chay. There we go. Then now let's see if that helps out. No, that still gives me only hockey saves. So I won't be able to put that one up on the screen. I don't have a play of the week, so I'm just going to leave it. Oh, Travis Kelce's engagement.
There you go.
There we go. Bench warmer of the week. Who do you got for? Well, what did you see that was the worst of this week in sports?
I could have gone CU themed because Shiloh got cut, and Shador.
You can't throw a punch at somebody when you're an undrafted free agent, dumbass.
Yeah, and frankly, we've talked about on the show how I think Shiloh was overrated in college. How he was a good hitter, but he's horrible in coverage, and he got exposed.
Such a liability.
He got exposed many times in college. And look, he got a shot in the NFL and didn't work out too well. Shador, obviously third-string quarterback. For those that are complaining about Shador not doing the 2-minute mark, I saw a great reason why they did this. Trey Wingo, obviously used to be an NFL or ESPN guy, does the show with Shalaris, I believe so, right? Or
they used to. I think they might still have some sort of a show, but they did one on ESPN Radio for a long time.
They did that for a long time. He explained this correctly. Stefanski did what Bill Belichick did in 2010. If you remember 2010, or not 2010, excuse me, 2013. In 2013, Tim Tebow played the entire last preseason game. The entire one. To give him a chance to see if someone wanted him. He knew he wasn't making the team. They had a backup quarterback already. I'm pretty sure it was Garoppolo already. So
it could have been Garoppolo or even Hoyer at that point.
At that time. They knew Tim Tebow wasn't going to make the team. So he gave Tim Tebow a chance to be like, you know what, put as much tape out there as you want. And if someone wants you, we'll trade you to them. And see what happens. Well, Shador also, same thing happened. He got pulled from the 2-minute mark. They'd be like, why are they doing this? This is horrible. They're not letting Shador get the opportunities. Shador was making the roster. You know who wasn't going to make the roster? Tyler Huntley. Hey, Tyler Huntley, here's the last 2-minute drill. If you ball out, we can go trade you to a team that needs a backup quarterback. Still. And be smart. Shador was making the roster. He did everything he could. Everyone, look, and go a step further, even this. Robert Griffin III, I think, is one of the dumbest people I've ever seen. He went on to be like, why is Shador not getting as many touches as Gabriel? And blah, blah, blah. And this is discrimination. This is horrible. And all this, that, and the other thing. Robert Griffin III was in a similar situation. Do you think that the Washington, insert name here, back in the day, were willingly going to give Kirk Cousins more looks than Robert Griffin III back when they were in camp? No! Robert Griffin III got the looks because he was drafted higher. He had more invested into him. Till Gabriel was a second-round pick.
Third round.
Or whatever. Second or third-round pick. More invested into him. It's not like Shador was drafted first. You invested a higher draft pick than Dylan Gabriel, so he'll get more looks in the preseason. So cry up your wall all you want, Shador Sanders fans. And I'm a fan of him. But really, now, sorry, to get off topic, Ralphie 6 is retired in year 3.
She did not have a good season last year.
Horrible season last year.
She did not run at all.
3 years, Ralphie 6. What are we doing?
Is it time to put a male buffalo in there? I know we can't, but is it time?
I don't think you physically can because
you physically can't. There is nobody that can handle a male buffalo running full speed down the field. We'll have an issue.
Ralphie 6 was a little too sassy.
She did not like her job. She was not interested in being in the spotlight.
They have retired her after 3 seasons because she does not want to run. And we are 5 days before the first game, by the way. 4 days, 3 days, whatever it is.
They played Friday, so yeah, we were a little bit closer.
Are we having a Buffalo run out there, or is she just the makeshift until they find a replacement? This is a travesty for one of the greatest traditions.
They have to have other ones in the rotation, can't they? I know that they have the one that they're going to go, but what if that one gets sick?
This is a travesty. Ralphie 6. People are saying that the Buffaloes never got off to the right start after she started walking the team out of the tunnel, and they got their brakes broken in by BYU, and that she was the reason why Shador and Travis Hunter went out on the wrong note. I don't look at. I don't like you. All you need to do is run 20 yards, just to get the team out of the gate.
Think about how old Miles is for the Broncos. As old as Miles is, that horse still.
Horse, and it's the same lady also. Which makes it even funnier. It's the same lady and same horse. Have done it for 40 years, and they still. I understand it's different. Okay, I understand it.
That horse has a little bit less control over its bowel movements. I'll say that.
The horse also is trained to just ride, and he only has to go. I take it back. They might have, if I remember correctly, they might have gotten a new horse. I don't remember though. But either way, that horse was there for 30 years, okay, and was kicking along for a long time. You're telling me 3 years, and we're already pouting? Ralphie 6, what are we doing? 3 years and we're done? What are we doing here?
I'm just saying, Coach Prime promised me Louis bags, and I didn't get any Louis bags when he.
That's what I'm saying. This is the prime Ralphie, and we couldn't even get her out of the gate.
Maybe it was a sign of things to come for the team because the team never really started well.
Gosh. Oh my gosh! I mean, maybe we need a better. That's what I'm saying. Ralphie 7 better have the most energy ever, because it all starts on that run. If Ralphie 7 hits the gates running in the first week, the handler falls over, we know we're in for a good season. We know we're in for a good season.
When McCartney was the head coach, when Klatt was there, when they were in the Big 12 championship, they had a Buffalo that would. You knew that it was time
run
for
over everybody in his path. Run over everybody.
And two, think about the other team. Like they've never seen a Buffalo up close before.
However,
from Colorado.
However, spoiler alert, they're playing. Aren't they playing North Dakota State? Was that last year?
That was last year. They're playing Georgia Tech.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. I take that back. I was gonna say they are Bison over there too. They could have.
No.
They could have borrowed the North Dakota Bison and said, "We need you for a game, buddy. Let's run them out side by side and see what happens."
We need you to stand in here because ours not ready to run. Ours is not going to run. She told us 20 minutes ago, and
I will say, by the way, I don't know if you know this. You're in a fantasy football league with a guy that was a Ralphie handler.
I did not know that.
Dylan Bernstein was a Ralphie runner. When he was at CU back in 2019.
Why wasn't he on our rec basketball team? Because we could have used somebody that can move like that.
Oh no, he is 5'8".
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, running wise.
He's trust me, he's useless running. I'll tell you that right now. In college heyday, yes, not right now, unfortunately.
There we go. So, Ralphie deserves it. Zach Taylor deserves it. He did what everybody asked him to do 3 years too late, and it looked worse somehow. I don't know how they played all of their guys, got them all of this experience. We're once again relying on the same hope as a strategy, and I've said it on this show I don't know how many times, but hope is not a strategy. Hope is a bad strategy, and just because Joe Burrow can go 9 for 10 for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns in 6 plays doesn't mean that you don't have to protect him and play other guys around him.
Yeah, here's a thought. Let's start the offensive line for a series and give them some reps. So your quarterback doesn't get decapitated in preseason. My guys are
too much sense. You're making too much sense.
I think was it Quinn Miners that said this? I think it might have been Quinn, or I forgot. Maybe it was someone else on the Broncos offense line. He's like, I'm not trying to go into week 1 facing Jeffrey Cinnamons in my first rep on live.
Fuck no.
I was like, if Bo's out there, I'm out there.
Exactly. I mean, you should love your quarterback enough to do that. Whether the coach tells you you're not suiting up or not.
That's my quarterback. I'm not putting a rookie offensive line in front of him. That's just too logical.
As somebody who, obviously I don't know the guys that they have in that room, but just as an offensive lineman and a guy who wants to believe in them, good luck telling me as an offensive lineman that my starting quarterback's playing and I'm not able to suit up. Good luck. Keep me off the field.
See what happens. Oh, it's just ridiculous.
Your little skinny ass can try and keep me off the field.
I have another bone to grab with the Bengals because I saw these videos and I think it pissed me off more than the offensive line thing. They FaceTimed their players when they got cut or they made the roster.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that.
I saw the FaceTimes when guys got called saying they congratulated the roster. They FaceTimed them. I'm sorry. Are they not that in the facility?
It's a terrible fucking organization, Niko. There's no.
Horrible look. It's horrible.
I love the players that I've followed through that team, but I don't have loyalty to the organization. I don't have loyalty to the Stripes. I mean, you can't have loyalty to the Stripes. The players are saying that now. Joe Burrow coming out and saying that we don't do business that way here. That was
Ray Hendrickson got signed though, so you got that going for you.
Yeah, $16.5 million rental, which I have no idea, but it still works out better than if we would have franchise tagged him. Because if you franchise tag a guy second time, it's 120% of the salary cap. It's not just all of the highest of the salary cap.
Yeah, so now I would say now you have 80% of the salary cap given out to 4 players, so that will work.
Hey, but at least one of them's on defense.
2 of them don't get the ball every play.
Yeah. If one and on the other side, if one of them gets the ball, the other one doesn't and probably gets a little bit pissy. Oh, yeah. And by the way, the guy that we paid on defense has had 40 sacks the last 2 years, and we've been, I think, collectively the worst defense over the last 2 years. So we're investing our money just in
Great.
It's so ironic when I listen to these Bengals podcasts and they're like, Monarch money. If you need to know how to handle your money, it's like, what the hell can you tell me about handling money right now? I know that you're not the organization, but I'm listening to a Bengals content. Do you think I care about handling money at this point? No, of course I don't.
It's a head scratcher, but at the same time, I told you.
Did you draft Chase Brown? Somebody stole Chase Brown from me too.
I'm sorry, I'm out on Chase Brown in terms of drafting in fantasy football. That's a guy that I was so out on. When you pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins all that money and you run the ball consistently, you're not doing anything.
No, not as a running back. He's more of like he would be a good flex. If you pick him up on waivers as a flex, that would be.
If he's your RB1, you're in trouble, is all I'm gonna say. Maybe a fringe RB2 at best.
Well,
but I like I said, if you are in fantasy football, draft with me because I have one left, and you're listening to this show. Don't worry about me taking Chase Brown from you because
you didn't really steal.
You don't pay 2 receivers all this money. Say let's hand the ball off. I don't I'm serious. Like, am I wrong? Tell me where I'm wrong.
No, you're not. And also, if you watch the Bengals offense, we've mentioned it a lot of times. Their scheme is set up to pass. Run is I know it's 3 letters, but it's a 4-letter word.
I think you may be the dumbest organization in all of sports if you pay your 2 number 1 receivers the most amount of money in the NFL and say to yourself, you know what? I think we should do this year. Let's run the ball some more. I seriously made me think that they're the dumbest human beings on earth.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I'm sorry. And nothing against Chase Brown. I think he's a great running back. I think he's in a good system. He's a good passing running back. Could get you fantasy points. But for the love of God, if they don't throw the ball 50 times a game, I don't know why they paid both of them all that money.
They are going to throw the ball 50 times a game.
I'm saying. So that's why you don't draft Chase Brown. So there's your.
Here's the thing. We talked about him, and we had such nice things to say about Lee Corso at 90 years old because he's realizing that it's about time for him to be done and everybody else around him. Mike Brown is also 90 years old, and he's the opposite end of the spectrum where they're like, well, Grandpa's been in charge for a long time. So
him and Jerry need to go to the retirement home together.
They can and just create a fake spreadsheet. Obviously, they don't know how to run their computer.
Talking about making a European basketball and football league. Go join him.
Honestly, just get the hell out of my team. Get away from my team. Pass it down to the next best person, and let's move on from there. Because I've seen it with my own eyes what a good ownership group can do to a team.
From personal experience, I'm gonna tell you right now, baby, don't pass it down and get a new owner. From personal experience is all I'll say. Because passing it down could not help us.
I could use some deep pockets.
That's what I'm saying. From personal experience, don't pass it down.
Technically, yours was never officially passed down.
I know technically it wasn't, but it was.
Yeah, I mean the trust. Well, that was the other thing too. How did Bolin sign the trust that gave Ellis control until he signed the team again? Like, no, he's never going to sign the team. He's the owner. He gets to go to the owners' meetings. He's never going to sign the team away.
No.
Until the Penners were like $8 billion. Pow.
Take the money. New stadium, new jerseys, new coach, new everything. Yep. Go ahead.
I take it. By the way, I know that
new quarterback, but everything else, yes.
We're ending soon, but I don't know if you saw the Broncos Stadium now is likely not going to be in Denver. Lone Tree.
Oh, I did not see that.
Lone Tree, because Denver is making everything very difficult.
Easier for us.
Well, not for me on my commute because that would make my commute to school.
Do not leave your house on Sunday.
No, I can't. I'm not getting any work done on Sundays. And if there's a Thursday night game, I'm never getting home.
Yeah. WrestleMania will be down the street from us. Super Bowl will be down the street, so that'll be sick. Yeah. I don't know. I know Denver is being difficult about it, but there's something not many states have this. There's something special about driving down the highway and seeing it. You see it every single time. You literally see the stadium. If you're driving down I-25, either direction, you will see where the Broncos play. Every single time you drive down the street. I understand that they need to build a new stadium. I understand that they should move it elsewhere. It is the easiest way to get to the game. It is very simple. Look, the next worry is obviously the outdoor stadium thing. Please, for the love of God, make sure that you can still, A, incorporate the horse, and B, incorporate that the stadium points a direction where you can see the sunset over the horse and still see outside. Ice a little bit, because that's still some of the best pictures in Broncos history are end zone shots with the horse in the background, with the sky being orange. Like, I'm gonna miss an outdoor stadium, not when it's 20 degrees outside and blizzard snowing, but I hope that they can still be smart and incorporate that, which I think the Penners and I think they're smart enough, and I think that you can build hybrid stadiums nowadays. I mean, LA's done it, Detroit's done it. Who else? Atlanta did one as well. I think it's very, very not easy, but I think it's very capable of doing that. So at least incorporate some core elements is all I'm gonna say. And I want my seat. The second you turn on the stadium, I want the seat. I don't care. I'll put it on my damn wall. I want the seat. Give us an option to, before we tear everything down, to take the seat out of the cement, and I can have it on my wall, please. I'm begging you.
I think they gave towels at the end of the last stadium. My parents do still have a towel that says I helped move the Thunder from Old Mile High to Invesco when they rebuilt the stadium the last time. I think they're getting a trial run done with that training facility that they're building over there in Centennial. They're getting a trial run done. It is still not set. Like, there is no 100% tried and true answer, because didn't they buy land though in Denver? That's my thing. They did. Railroad. But Denver, like, the county officials in Denver are making things miserable for them. Like, well, this company owns this piece of land. This company owns this piece of land. You need to follow these ordinances. You can't build at these times. And Lone Tree's like, we lost out on what we had ready in 2018. We're ready to just give you the site and do whatever you want with it. And
I hate to be a burden of bad news, but Denver Broncos, Colorado Avalanche, Denver Nuggets are the reason we are as big of a sports town, as booming of a city as we are. Right?
No, it is.
We like look, no slight to Utah and Salt Lake City. They didn't have a professional sports team until the Jazz, and that was the only thing that came over. No one cared about the Jazz for so long. They were just a flyover state. Now with the Mammoth there, or Utah Mammoth, I still hate that name. Utah Mammoth, obviously BYU and University of Utah is going over. They're not a flyover city. Without the Broncos, without the Nuggets, without the Avs, I'll even throw the Rockies in there, even though I hate saying it. Without the Rockies, we are basically Wyoming with a little bit closer to the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah,
I can't. Sorry, like the city has boomed because of the sports agriculture in the city.
It'll boom again once that new stadium is being built. That's what I was talking about with people. Like, the Centennial area that we live in is going to be overcrowded because of the amount of workers that will live in Centennial, so they can drive to the site in Lone Tree. It's going to bring wherever it ends up being. It's going to bring in a ton of people. Price is going to jack up. Time to sell. I might not be getting a house anytime soon in this area.
So I'm saying, sell what you got, and then get something cheaper a little bit further away and have a little bit farther commute. Just don't work on Sundays.
This has been an extra jam-packed episode. Football season's right around the corner, so obviously there was a lot to talk about. PLL semifinals this weekend. Check out the Redwoods taking on the Denver Outlaws. That game will be broadcast on ESPN2 Labor Day on Monday at 1 p.m. So Niko will be out there in Philly for that one. Waterdogs and Atlas will kick off just before. Enjoy college football week 1. Enjoy the Rise of the Roadrunner series. We will be having new features with that, so we're working out something with the Alamo Audible podcast where they're going to do mutual appearance. We'll try and go on their show. They'll come on ours. They are also going to be helping me with the Rise of the Roadrunner series. So episode 5 will be coming out Friday this week. So make sure that you're checking that out. Subscribe, follow at FEOTB Pod, all that good stuff. What do you have? I know you got something for the Redwoods semifinal game coming up.
It's just roll woods, man. Feed. So I'm going to say feed. If you know the acronym, you know, is all I'll say. Feed.
There you go.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a fun season. I just want another weekend with the boys. Just give me another weekend with the boys. Come on. Give me one
If you win this weekend, it'd be an extra 2 weekends with the boys, too.
I wouldn't see them 2 weeks, but yes, technically 2 more weeks of talking to the boys.
There we go. We're looking forward to it. Make sure that you check it out. Follow us, like we said. Continue to support and subscribe and tell your friends. For myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host, Niko Bryant, episode 245 of the Far End of the Bench podcast. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit.